Well, hello and welcome everybody to the New Health Conversation, especially for the censors. I want you to always know that the New Health Conversation stays within the community guidelines because we only quote from what's in the public domain and medical proof and medical studies. We don't give any opinions, we don't make any claims. Everything that we're talking about can be totally backed up and substantiated by we're the only people we can find on all of social media with actual peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. We've written 4 best-selling books with some of the top medical doctors in the world, appeared over 20 times on public broadcasting and over 1,500 live lectures around the world. We pride ourselves in being the agents of truth, of bringing to the world the absolute latest research on what really does work, especially when it comes to weight loss. So I just wanted to share that with you. Wow, everybody's jumping on already. Hello, Renee. Hello, John. Hello, Samantha. Hello, Island. Serena. Balatha. Oh my gosh. Tons of people coming on. Thank you all so much. I love my audiences and what's happening. Look, everyone, this is real. What you're looking at here, that's not Photoshopped. It's not a diet. It's not about losing weight. It's the latest. It's a 40-year journey with the top rated weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. There are no products, so they're not trying to sell you something. They're scientists, they're researchers, and what they did after 40 years, 100 studies, thousands of people, they cracked the code on weight loss, obesity, and health. This is so monumental. It's going to make every single diet out there obsolete. Now, these scientists who created this, again, they have no product. They don't have a company. There are no products involved here. This is a completely new way for all of us to really change the rest of our lives based on these new food combinations and 2 completely new ways of consuming food. You think, well, I know how to eat food. Well, no, they've done it. So what I'm showing you here, this young woman, 21 pounds, 38 inches in 30 days. How many please put in the chat? I want everybody to be able to participate. It's your community. We call it the New Health Conversation movement. It doesn't cost you. It's part of it. You don't have to join anything. That's the movement. We want to bring as many people as we can to this because we're hurting as a country in the United States and we're hurting as a world. Let me give you some numbers. Worldwide, we now have 1 billion people clinically obese. And this was in The Lancet, published a year ago in March of 2024. And they said in this study, making obesity the leading form of malnutrition in the world. We'll come back to that in a moment. In the United States, the projections are right now, Johns Hopkins Medical School study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese. Don't you, honestly, all of you, listen to me, okay? I'm a researcher. It's not my research, okay? But we feel an incredible obligation to make this aware of you. We were introduced to this. It's changed our lives. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. Now, why wasn't it more out in the public? Because these peer-reviewed human trial studies that were started in 2012, they take a long time before they come and be part of the public. So as far as the medical world was concerned, there was no interest because there were no peer-reviewed human trial studies. Now we have 10 of them, and it's the only peer-reviewed human trial studies of any diet, nutrition, weight loss, health program, period. There are no other ones. This is so groundbreaking. Anyway, please put in the chat, how excited would any of you be if you could lose 20 pounds in a month, 5 pounds a week with no exercise? Now, let me be clear. The researchers were not against exercise, but they limited exercise because they didn't want exercise to be part of it. When I show you what they did, you'll think, oh, well, that was simple. Well, it took 40 years to figure out what didn't work to figure out what does work, okay? Now, I want to show you just a couple more pictures, and then I'll come back, and I promise I'm going to go through step by step exactly what they did, what you did. But in the meantime, see right above her head there in blue, the New Health Conversation. That's the free medical website. The only thing on there is the medical proof. Let me show all of you. Here's the website. Go to Google, type in the New Health Conversation. You click on that. There's the website. There's nothing to buy on that website. It's all 100% free. Everything there is medically proven. There's nothing there's no sales hype, there's no buy buttons, there's no anything. You all have an amazing opportunity to change your lives and people that you care about and people that you maybe work with, be with, whatever, okay? Let's come back to this for just a moment now. The next picture I want to show you is Julie, 35 pounds in 37 days. Did you hear me? 35 pounds in 37 days. Look at the change in her body. Look, I don't want to argue with you. It's not photoshopped. It's not AI. It's actually real. Okay. And like I said, everything I'm sharing with you is backed up by these peer-reviewed human trial studies. Do you all understand the significance of a peer-reviewed human trial study? It's not a scientific paper. It's not a clinical study. It's not on mice or rats or chimpanzees. It's on human beings. It's the highest level of investigation in the medical world. Like no drug ever gets approved without a peer-reviewed human trial study. That's why this is such a, for all of you. You know what they proved? It's safe. It's safe and it works. Wait till you see this. This is the daughter of a friend of mine. You'll think it's a different woman. Let's not argue about that. It's the same woman. 60 pounds in 3 months. 60. Look at her face. Look at her arms. Look at her body. Look at that. What do you all think? Please, somebody comment. Also, can we get some likes going? Can we get some taps on that screen? Let's like this. Let's help the world, okay? Let's help everybody. You're not buying anything from us. You're not buying anything from the researchers. You're going to buy part of the food from your grocery store. You're going to get a grocery list, and then you're going to find out about these other exotic foods that came from around the world that these researchers used in these studies. It took them 40 years to figure this out. 40 years. Look at the results. Now, this is even more amazing for everybody. This is an older gentleman. You know, you hear, oh, you get older, you can't lose weight. Really? Look at this, everybody. 40.8 pounds, 52.5 inches in 30 days. And look at the lab work. Look at his blood work. A1C, 8.4 to 6.4. Triglycerides, 242 to 124. That's it. Come on, let's get some more taps on that screen. Look, you can share this with the world. You can share it with the people you love and you work with and your friends, etc. What are we doing? We're getting, I mean, if we're talking about in 4.5 years, 86% of America being overweight and obese, the trend's going like this. I mean, we're going to break the whole damn healthcare system. And what do we keep doing? Paleo, keto, Mediterranean, time-restricted eating, fasting, count your carbs, macros. It's all nonsense. None of it works. Even the major, I got Harvard Medical School, headline, stop counting calories. Right here. They said this, Harvard. The idea of a calorie in, calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford, obesity specialist, Harvard. Drop the calories notion, Stanford said. It's time to concentrate what's in the food, not how much food we're consuming. That's what these researchers did. They have nothing to do with Harvard. We've got, wait till you hear the evidence. You're on these diets. What is it going to shock you? 2/3 of you, according to all the medical research, are going to weigh more than what you did before you went on the diet. You would have been better off not even going on the diet in the first place. I hope that shocks you. And we're giving you, you can go for free to that website and we're not even going to contact you. But if you like what you see, then you can scroll down and get a coach. Now, why do you need a coach? Because we don't know anything about you. What if we have a kid 2 years old doing this. We have a lady 91. We have people with no thyroids. A person with a heart transplant, a kidney transplant, gallbladder. So we're not treating, curing, preventing, or diagnosing any medical conditions. We're just telling you this is for everybody, with rare exceptions, maybe every once in a while. The reason we're coaching you for free, you've never done anything like this. People keep trying to come on here. No, reticulocyte doesn't. No. What is it? Okay, good. At least I'm getting some more action. Apple user reticulocyte. No, those things don't work. Well, here's a big study right here on the GLP-1, okay? And then I'm going to explain to you how they did this. This is New England Journal of Medicine. You all can look it up on semaglutide, adults and overweight, obesity. It's in the public record. You can go look it up. This was a 68-week study. 68 weeks. The weight loss after 68 weeks was 32 pounds, and 40% of the weight they lost was lean muscle mass. This is New England Journal of Medicine. That's not me telling you that. She lost 21 pounds in a month and gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass with no exercise. Yeah, I'm animated. I get really amped up because it's so exciting. The fact you're willing to share some time with me for me to impart the research that we've done. Let me be clear. We're the researchers of the researchers. We didn't invent this. It's not our research, but we're bringing it to you. We want the New Health Conversation to be worldwide, to go all over the world. Tell everybody you know about it. Because who else is producing that kind of a result for you that's backed by 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies? I mean, hello? So let's talk about how did she do it? I know that's what everybody wants to know. So the researchers that invented it are rated the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the entire world. Let's start with that. They had done 100 studies, thousands of people over 40 years, and they came to some conclusions. Number one, every person, every diet lost weight. They said, hell, you could lose weight on the Dunkin' Donut diet. I'm not kidding you, all right? But the problem was that every time, up to 2/3, over 40 years, they tracked the people, 2/3 of the people gained more weight than they lost. And here was the other thing. Every diet, didn't matter what the name was, of the weight they did lose, 20, 30, 40, 10, whatever it was, 25 to 40% was lean muscle mass. Now, you don't understand why that's so unhealthy for you to lose lean muscle mass. First of all, when you lose lean muscle, what does your brain do? It slows down your metabolism. That's why you plateau in these diets. That's why you yo-yo. But way worse, you didn't even realize this. When you lose lean muscle, what else your brain does? Slows down your own immune system. That's why in cancer patients, it's so bad when they lose weight and they can't help it because they don't have any appetite. But they're losing about 40% of the lean muscle, which is slowing down their own immune system. And sadly, I can address this. My younger brother in 2011 was diagnosed with kidney cancer. My brother was 6'4". And in 8 months from the time he was diagnosed until he passed away, when he passed away, he weighed 115 pounds. I could carry him in my arms, my younger baby brother. So I've seen it up close and personal. These diets, you've got to understand, everybody, you're not going to lose weight in the long run on any of these diets and keep it off. 2/3 are going to weigh more than when you started. So the researchers said something's terribly wrong here. Here's what's wrong. First of all, I'd love for any of you to put in the chat for me the definition of a calorie. No, seriously, I'm being serious. Give me the definition of a calorie. You're all counting them. Why? Do you know your body, the human body, has no clue what a calorie is, doesn't count them, doesn't care about calories. So you're going to these diets limiting calories for what? Because someone told you, some influencer? Here's how your body really works. Your body works on a minimum of one thing, one principle. You know what that is? Nutrition. Nothing to do with calories. When you go on a diet, think about what you really do. You're lowering the amount of food you're consuming, and by definition, what are you lowering? Nutrition. Why is that so bad? Because the brain calculates when there's not enough nutrition to run all the organs at full speed, it immediately stops accessing the fuel inside your fat cell, which is the way it should work, and turns your muscles into fuel. I'm not making this up. This is what's going on scientifically. Why the heck no one's telling you this? I don't know. Because they want to protect calories in, calories out, which is total nonsense. When you begin to lose lean muscle, your brain doesn't have a choice. It slows down your metabolism. My gosh, haven't you all experienced the yo-yo? Who's explaining this to you? Who's telling you what's really going on? But also when you lose lean muscle, you slow down your own immune system. You're making yourself unhealthy by being on any of these, if that makes sense. So the researcher said, wait a minute. We're going to come from a completely different approach. We're going to find foods. We don't care about calories. We're going to find foods that have high degrees. They call it nutritional density in the foods that they pick. 30% of what you would get, or what she did, you get a grocery list. Seriously. Proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits. But instead of giving you calorie amounts, they're giving you serving sizes. Very important. Because what they wanted to ensure was you had enough nutrition. It wasn't about the quantity, how much food you're eating. It was about, do you have enough nutrition? So 30% of what she consumed, or you would consume, you'd get a grocery list, you'd take all organic, you'd go to the grocery store, but only 30% of what you're going to consume in a month. Here's the key. Here's the secret. Why did it work? These researchers who have no products, there's no products here, this is food. They found other researchers who'd gone around the world to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, the Himalayas, South America, New Zealand, to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small quantities of food. So now they had the foods they were going to give people. Then they invented two completely new ways of consuming food. 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. That is called protein pacing. On those days, breakfast, these exotic foods from around the world. Lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a fourth meal after dinner, these exotic foods from around the world. Yes, 4 meals a day. And it was called protein pacing. Now, what does that mean? Protein pacing, what they found, the researchers proved, it wasn't just about getting her enough nutrition. It was spreading it out over about 8 or 10 hours. That made all the difference. So 5 days a week, you'd be having 4 meals a day on a schedule. Then 2 days a week, you do, now this will flip you all out. 2 days a week, you do something called intermittent nutritional fasting, not fasting, water fasting, timers, no fasting, nutritional fasting. Now, how did they pull that off? No food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world, but this time she ate, you would too, 8 times a day. She was eating about every hour and a half. We had people with weigh 500 pounds that they weren't hungry. They weren't hungry. I mean, the whole key, there's 2 real big keys to this, 3 actually. The medical benefits, the fact maintenance is the key to this whole thing. It's not, can we get the weight off? You look at, there it is. It's keeping it off for the rest of your life. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. So far, I've kept it off for 23 years. I'm still going. The other thing that's really important about this, in a month's time, listen to this, hunger went down 41%, blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides. There were diabetics on this where their need for insulin in a month went down 41% in 30 days. This has never been seen before, nothing like this. But here was the big one, inflammation. In case you didn't know, is the underlying cause of every medical condition out there. It came down 25% in a month. No diet, no exercise, no program has ever produced anything like this. But here's the other big one. We all, including myself, suffer from this medical syndrome, whether you know it or not. It's called TDOS. T for toxicity, D for nutrition deficiency, O for being overweight, S is for stress. It's a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office. Who's this guy, Peter Greenlaw? Oh, I guess that's me. I did discover it. So what does it really mean to you? It means that you're drinking, breathing, eating chemicals, whether you know it or not. As they come in your body, the body first presents them to the liver. Our livers are so overwhelmed now, they estimate that 25% of us have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, dealing with the chemicals. So once the liver can't handle it, the chemicals keep coming in, the body then, last line of defense, takes that chemical and stuffs it inside your visceral fat. That's the fat around your organs. Look at her on day 1. Look at the bloating. And then look at day 30. Because in these studies, they did blood, stool, urine, fat, and muscle analysis. They proved that this was assisting the body in removing the chemicals. See, you're told that you burn fat. That is a complete lie. You're born with a certain number of fat cells. You die with a certain number of fat cells. In between, the fat cells expand or contract. So when the chemical comes in the fat cell expands. That's what you're seeing there in his stomach. And then look at 30 days later. No exercise, no sit-ups, no crunches, no anything. And she's maintained it now for 8 or 9 years. These pictures are about 8 or 9 years old. But here's a more recent. This is the June 9th issue of Women's World, the #1 magazine, women's magazine in the world. I coached both of these women. The daughter is 57 years old. She's a nurse. She lost 50 pounds in 3 months. The mom lost 90 pounds in 9 months. She's 80 years old, and they both have kept the weight off now for 3 years. You think, look, the magazine's calling it over 50 protein miracle. This is the #1 women's magazine in the world. You think you get on the cover of this? This is some kind of fake deal? And the reason that they did it is because this is the only weight loss protocol, period, with 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. There aren't any other ones. You're going on these protocols, listening to these nice people without one shred of medical evidence. Here, ask yourself a question. If what they were telling you with keto or paleo or Mediterranean or time restriction, if it actually worked, they'd want to have a peer-reviewed human trial study. They don't have any. This is the answer for overweight, obesity, and health. Here it is, right here. And you can go to the website. Again, let me show you. Type in Google, the new health conversation. It's the first thing there it is. It comes right up on Google. There's nothing to buy on that site. The only thing there is the medical proof backing up everything I'm sharing with you right now. I urge you, invite you. I don't know how to, I'm not trying, I don't want to convince you. Because if you go to the website, we're not even going to contact you. What? No, why not? Because we want you to have the freedom to go and see the medical proof for yourself. Don't believe me. And if you like what you see, then scroll down. You get free coaching the whole time, not just an initial consultation. I mean, I know it sounds too good to be true for most of you, but it's real. So I'd love for anybody to put a comment. If you were going to lose 20 pounds, pick any diet you want, any program, any gym. How long would you give yourself to lose 20 pounds? But I'm going to tell you right now, we know based on the science, 25 to 40% of the 20 pounds you're losing on any diet is your lean muscle mass. It's not like let's have a discussion about it. No. The medical proof, listen to this, why you shouldn't count calories. A big study saying, while counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight in the short term, the approach has never been proven to keep weight off long term. What's even worse, 2/3 of people who try to count or restrict calories gain back more weight than they lost. That's you. That's what you're facing. At a minimum, you're going to go back to where you started. Why'd you go on the diet in the first place? To make yourself unhealthy, because that's what you're doing, because you've slowed down your metabolism and you've slowed down your immune system by going on a traditional diet, this stupid calorie counting thing. Not that you're stupid, but look, I mean, how in the world can we support dieting by counting calories when John Hopkins study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030? 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese. That's not my opinion. I mean, I'd love for someone to tell me why. Why are you counting calories? Stop. Stop counting calories. This is it. This is your ticket to get out of this dilemma that you're in. Aren't you sick and tired of going on a diet, losing weight, and gaining it all back and having no energy and being miserable? Or not? Or keep doing what you're doing? We're going to change the world. We are going to do it. This is the only site on all of social media with peer-reviewed human trial studies. I see this it's medical doctors and chiropractors and dietitians, nutritionists, and fitness people and health coaches and weight loss coaches. I've never seen one with one shred of medical evidence. They give you opinions. Are you telling me you're going to trust your health to an opinion? Because that's what you're doing. Did you even know that? Did you even know that the human body has no idea? Still, I'm waiting for someone to give me the definition of a calorie. I mean, we don't even know what calorie. I didn't know what a calorie was either 24 years ago. A calorie is not a real thing. It's not. No, your body. It's not counting calories. It doesn't care about calories. So May Travis, iZone, Live Creator, Penny, user 129. So who else? We have 540 likes. Come on, let's get some more taps on that screen. Let's get up to 1,000 or more. What questions can I answer for all of you? But while we're waiting to get some more questions, this is a big study just published in Medicare. Okay, Medicare, because they're trying to bring healthcare costs down. Nothing I'm sharing with you is an opinion. Let's be clear. Okay, I'm not giving you any opinions. I'm giving you medical facts. So Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. That's Medicare saying that. Our researchers at Medicare reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether calorie-restricting diets or any diet is an effective treatment for obesity. The studies show that 2/3 of dieters regain more weight than they lost on any diet. In summary, there's little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. That's Medicare telling you diets are not the answer. And yet I know it's going to happen. Most of you are going to go back to keto, paleo, Mediterranean, count your macros, carb recycling, carnivore, whatever it is. None of them work long term. And they don't have any medical. They give you these anecdotal stories. Oh, we have a clinical study. That doesn't matter. You need to have a peer-reviewed human trial medical study. But the other thing they're not even taking into account, no diet this isn't even a diet. There is no diet that's ever been proven to show it removes even a gram of a toxin from your body. What are toxins? Things like herbicides and pesticides and Scotchgard and Teflon. Hell, they did a study 5 weeks ago finding microplastics in our brain and in our coronary arteries. Isn't that bad enough? Are you even aware of the TDOS syndrome, which is a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office? Yeah, I did, Peter Greenlaw, I did discover, but that's not what matters. So let me read to you now. We didn't even know we were storing chemicals in our body until 2005, Mount Sinai Medical School in New York. I've been on this bandwagon now before that even. But let's read what the experts are now saying. 20 years later, they've done about 1,000 studies on us as human beings storing chemicals in our body. Listen to what they're saying. The Endocrine Society, the largest organization of experts devoted to the research on hormones and the clinical practice of endocrinology, reports the rise in the incidence of obesity matches the rise in the use and distribution of industrialized chemicals. They call these chemicals obesogens. Simply put, obesogens are chemicals that disrupt the function of our hormonal system, leading to weight gain and many of the diseases that curse the American populace. They enter our body from a variety of sources, from natural compounds in soy, artificial hormones fed to animals, plastic pollutants in food packaging, chemicals added to processed food, and pesticides sprayed on our produce. They act in a variety of ways mimicking human hormones such as estrogen. Are you listening, ladies? Blocking the action of other hormones such as testosterone. Are you listening, men? And essentially reprogram us to gain weight. Had you ever heard of obesogens before today, before this podcast? No diet, no program up until now where these researchers in these studies did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis proving that this was assisting the body in removing the chemicals. That's why her stomach shrank. Look at her on day one. That the bloating is caused by the storage of chemicals. That's why so many people complain to us today, not just how much weight they have, but how much fat they have on their body. I'm sure some of you would agree with that. I've experienced it. But I'd love for anybody to put something in the chat. We have 601 likes. Come on, it's been, we're 25 minutes in. Come on, let's get some more taps. Unless you don't like this content. You probably don't like this content because it's completely contrary to everything you're doing. But my God, don't let your prejudice prevent you from changing the rest of your life. Because just because this was never invented doesn't mean it wasn't possible. I mean, come on, look at my friend's daughter. 60 pounds in 3 months. Look at that pic. Is it the same woman? Okay. Let's do that. I'd love for anybody to put in the chat. Is that the same woman or is it a different woman? Do you think we photoshopped it? Do you think it's AI? Some people accuse you got a different model in the same dress. No, we didn't. But I want your opinion. Your opinions matter. You're the people that this can benefit. It's already benefited me. Hell, I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. But what about all of you? What are you going to do? I mean, and when we look at an older gentleman, 40.8 pounds, 52.5 inches in 30 days. That's not 30 weeks. It's not a misprint. And look at his lab work. A1C, 8.4 to 6.4. Triglycerides, 242 to 124. That's in 30 days. 30 days, right? As I rip my earphone out. I get too excited. I did a 15 water and dudes any weight. Your thought, I'm 62. Yeah, it's the worst thing you could have ever done. Let me explain it to you, Brenda, okay? On a fast, on a normal fast, whether it's a water fast or the stupid time-restricted eating, it takes, after about 21, 22 hours, you're out of nutrition. So what happened in your body, the minute that happened, your body stopped accessing the fuel in your fat cells, shut it off, the brain did, and immediately began to convert your muscles into fuel. As that happened, what your brain was doing, as it used muscle for fuel, it slowed down your metabolism. That's why after 22 hours, and I know people do water fast for religious reasons. I'm not going to go there. I'm a scientist. I'm just giving you the evidence. Fasting more than 22 hours will cause you to lose significant amounts of lean muscle, which slows down your metabolism. You've proven my point. You did a 15-day water fast and didn't lose any weight. Of course not. This is not a water fast. This has nothing to do with conventional, any type of fasting. It's called intermittent, well, part of it is 2 days a week, you do something called intermittent nutritional fasting, where you're fasting with these nutrients that come from around the world, from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, that represent huge amounts of nutrition, but very small quantities of food. So again, how excited would you be, Brenda, if you could lose 21 pounds in a month? Put it in the chat. The program, you're going to spend about, if you took up whatever you spent on food last month, that you're going to spend about the same this month. Only 30% of the food you buy would come from the grocery store. The other 70% goes to these exotic foods from around the world, from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. Now keep in mind, you're buying directly from them. So there's no middleman. That's what makes it so affordable. And these are foods and nutrients that aren't even available in North America. And look at the results. Look at those results. That's without any exercise. She really lost 21 pounds and 38 inches in 30 days. I'd love for you anybody to comment. No one's commenting so far. Any of you, be honest, to lose 20 pounds, forget you were on this podcast today. How long would you give yourself to lose 20 pounds? I'd love to know. Brenda, thrilled beyond words, exactly. So Brenda, what I want to point out to you, Brenda or Young for Life or any of the other people on here, did all of you get a chance to hear me walk through exactly what they did day by day, step by step? Because I'm more than willing to repeat it. Just give me no, I didn't, or whatever in the chat, so I know that I'm not just repeating to people that I've already explained this to. Oh, we're getting a lot of likes now. We're at 830. Let's keep tapping on that screen. So Young for Life. No, I didn't. Okay, Denise didn't. Okay, no, I didn't. Please repeat it. Thank you. Please repeat. Okay, I get the point. Okay. All right, now look, be a little bit patient with me. It's going to take me a couple minutes to explain it. This is not about recipes. This is not a diet. This is like nothing you've ever done before. So the thing is, hey, there's my, oh, hello, King Grayson. So this protocol is not a diet, and it's about nothing to do with counting calories. As a matter of fact, I'd love any of you. So far, in almost 30 minutes, I asked, can anybody give me the definition of a calorie? No one's been able to give me a definition of a calorie. So the researchers who are the top, listen to me everyone, the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world had done 100 studies over 40 years, thousands of people, and they concluded no diet ever worked long term because of the principle of calorie counting is ridiculous. The human body has no idea what a calorie is. What they did instead, your body runs on one simple thing, and it's not calories. It runs on a minimum amount of what? Nutrition. So all the diets you're on are like when you did the water fast, you essentially reduce the amount of nutrition your body got. When your brain senses not enough nutrition, it will immediately stop accessing the fuel in your fat cell and immediately turn to your muscles for fuel, which slows down your metabolism to the point where you, whoever was, Brenda or whoever was on the water fast, that's why you couldn't lose weight. You shut your metabolism almost down. No, you couldn't. Well, on this, what the researchers said, we need to get a different approach. Can we find, they went and looked for foods with high levels of nutrition, not high levels of quantity or calories, okay? So they put a grocery, you'd all get a grocery list. You actually take it to the store. Proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But instead of giving you calorie counts, what did they give you? Serving sizes. Remember, the researchers, what was their goal? To give you more nutrition. So you never cause the brain to go in starvation mode and use your muscles for fuel. Okay? But that was only 30% of what you'd consume. You'd buy from your grocery store. The other 70% comes from other researchers who had gone around the world over 20 years, had gone to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, to get foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small amounts relatively of food itself, of the amount of food. You got it so far? 30% from your grocery store, 70% from the exotic foods, which, by the way, you buy directly from them. Oh, wait till you hear this. Those suppliers of 70% of what you're going to spend, they'll give you 100% of your money back guarantee in the first 30 days. Did you hear me? Yeah. So then they now have the foods, and then what they had to create was a new way of eating. They called it eating pattern, where 5 days a week, them would have 4 meals a day. Listen to me closely, my friend with the water fasting. Imagine 4 meals a day, starting with these exotic foods for breakfast, lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a 4th meal after dinner, these exotic foods around the world. See, it's the opposite of a diet. They were concentrating on one thing, giving you more nutrition. They didn't care about calories. They didn't care about the volume. They only cared about nutrition, and they were able to do it with lower amounts of food and higher amounts of nutrition. It'd be like if you go to the gas station today, fill up your car, and they only had 2 pumps. Pump number 1 is the food you're used to. And science says this will take you 20 miles. But the next pump number 2, says this gallon will take you 100 miles. That's what the researchers did. They used the 100-gallon fuel. I know it's a silly example, but I hope you get it. So now, 5 days a week, 4 meals. 2 days a week, and this will spin all of you out. They did something that's going to sound crazy. They did intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. Those days, she had no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods, but this time they let her eat 8 times a day. What? Yeah. We've got people doing this to weigh 500 pounds. They don't get hungry because you were never hungry for calories. Do you all understand that? It's the most ludicrous, ridiculous thing we've ever done. The human body has no idea what a calorie is. But it sure as heck knows what nutrition is. So what the researchers were able to do, the brain never felt it didn't have enough fuel to run all the organs. And look at her results. There were people, like I said, That's 30 days with no exercise, 21 pounds, 38 inches. And the best part about this is maintenance. Those pictures are 8 or 9 years old. She's kept the weight off for 8 or 9 years. All these people have been able to keep the weight off. You know what the program's called? R2M, Race to Maintenance. How cool is that? This could change your life. And you get to go to the website, the New Health Conversation, for free. And see the medical proof, because we will not contact you. Pleased to meet me. Why does this look like VHS in 1970? I have no idea. I don't know why. I mean, I'm on social media. It's live, whatever. So, does that change the scientific proof? Does that change the scientific evidence? I don't know what to tell you. I've got a really high-grade camera. I do 4 or 5 of these podcasts a day. I've reached thousands and thousands of people all around the world. That's the first time I've ever gotten that comment. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it is. I'm a scientist. I just care about the medical facts. I only care about the proof. I don't care about anything else. Nothing else matters. And this is the only protocol in the world with 10 peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. And the website is free to go to, and you can see there's an interview, everyone, with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. Wait till he explains to you why they'll never recommend any form of traditional diet ever again, because they invented this and they don't have any products. They don't sell anything. There are no products. You're buying food and consuming it in a completely different way, and you're going to learn how to keep it off for the rest of your life. Am I missing something here? Does that sound pretty attractive to most of you? I mean, look at this. This is the daughter, okay? This is the daughter of one of my good friends. How about 60 pounds in 3 months? Look at her face, look at her arms, look at her body. Does anyone see any loose skin there? Great, we're at 3,400 likes. Come on, let's keep hitting that screen, everybody. Now you're making me feel good. Yeah, do you stay on the protocol? Okay, great, both questions. You're fine, keep going, okay? No, I mean, someone's making that comment. It's okay. I like your tie. Well, thank you very much. All right, so let's buckle down on this for just a moment, okay, everybody? The goal of this and why it's called R2M Race to Maintenance, you didn't quite let me finish. Once you've gotten to your goal, like in this case, this my friend's daughter, who, by the way, that picture, she's kept it off for 8 or 9 years. I'm going to tell you how simple maintenance is. Maintenance is the exotic foods from around the world. That's your breakfast every day. Like this morning, that's what I had. I had just had lunch, and then I'm going to have dinner tonight, and then every couple of months, I'll do another 48-hour intermittent nutritional fast. That's how simple maintenance is. Now, everybody asks about the cost. The first month where you're buying take your grocery bill, whatever your groceries spent last month, 30% of that you're going to spend at the grocery store, and the other 70% goes towards these exotic foods, which a lot of people tell me they're spending about what they were spending, or maybe $100 more in a month, maybe another $25 a week. But look at the results that you're getting. You're putting, here's what I tell people all the time. I have the opportunity every single day to put what the researchers have called, these exotic foods around the world's most perfect meals from a nutritional standpoint of view. So when you say, do you have to do it forever? Why wouldn't I? And it's so simple. So no, you're not doing the aggressive, 5 days a week, 4 meals, and 2 days a week intermittent nutritional fasting. That's just until you get to your goal. So Ches and Brenda and Ches again, and no, the coaches show you how to order. Also, they show you, so all of you go to the website if you want, see the medical proof, then scroll down, you get a coach, and they'll show you everything. They'll get you the grocery list, but more importantly, they're going to give you this, which is what the researchers developed for the patients. And each one of these yellows are daily videos that explain exactly what's going on. And like your question about the foods and stuff, hopefully you can read that. It says R2M schedule, that's your daily schedule, and then recommended food list. And then the little squares you're seeing, those are all daily videos from the researchers who created this. I know it sounds too good to be true, and there's no guesswork. All you have to do, go look at the medical proof. If you like what you see, scroll down, and then you get it's free consultation and free coaching the whole time. Free. People put in the chat, how much is the coaching? FREE. Does everybody get that? It's free. Oh, I'm having so much fun. Yeah, see? Somebody's on Lifestyle King. That's my friend's daughter. It is. It's not fake. Please tell them it's not fake. It's really the same woman. They keep coming on and telling me that we hired a model and put her in the same outfit. You know this. You know that woman as well, right? Am I correct? Oh my gosh, this is so much fun. But again, come on, everybody. We're at 5,000 likes. Come on, we could do better than that. I know. Keep tapping. Now, let me give you all a refresher why whatever diet you're on is, well, this is according to Medicare, okay? They just finished a huge study. Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. So please pay attention. It's not my opinion. I just want you to tell whatever diet you're on, it's not going to work long term, not because I said so. They went on to say our researchers reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether any diet is an effective treatment for obesity. The study showed that 2/3 of dieters regained more weight than they lost on any diet we analyzed. In summary, there's little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. I mean, do any of you really believe the diet you're on now is going to work long term? Do you really believe that? Because you're following these influences that are telling you that. Is it ironic? We're the only ones on all social media with peer. We have, listen, hold on. We have 10. I have them right here. 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. And if you go to the website, which is free to go to, you get to see the studies. Here's the website, everybody. Look, type in Google, the new health conversation. Boom, there's this website. There's nothing to buy there. Look, there's no buy buttons. Those are all daily videos. I mean, not daily videos, but explaining exactly what's involved and how it works and whatever. It's the medical proof. We don't want to convince you. Because we can't, no, we didn't do this is their research. Brenda, great. Shez, okay, what are your thoughts about taking 5 milligrams of creatine a day? It depends what kind of creatine it is. There are various, creatine is great. There's actually part of this is a creatine that's the purest form in the world that we know of. That's, again, see, but that's the kind of thing, that's why you need a coach. Because do you realize that for some of these people, they want to gain weight? It's not about weight loss. Well, I know that my own grandson started on part of this when he was 14 months old when his mom stopped breastfeeding. We've got other kids that are 2. We have a lady 91 years old. We have we've got people with no thyroids. No thyroids. How about a man with a heart transplant? How about kidney transplant? How about people with no gallbladders? Now, we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, or preventing any diseases. So don't hear me say that. That's not true. All we're doing is sharing with you the medical proof. But here's something else that should impress you. This is the cover of Women's World, June 9th, just, 13 days ago. I coached both of these women. As a matter of fact, I have the magazine right here. The daughter is a nurse. She's 57 years old. She lost 50 pounds in 3 months. The mom, who's 80, lost 90 pounds in 9 months. And they're both keeping the weight off now, going on 3 years. Now, do you think you get on the cover of the #1 women's magazine in the world if this is something? I don't have a product. I'm not. They're talking about the methodology and what they did and the researchers and how this works. I mean, and then they wrote a big article inside the magazine. That's just. I mean, it's just crazy good. Let me find it here. Look, here's the article. You all should be able to read that. Sorry, new protein miracle diet. You all can see it right there. This is too good to be true. I understand that. I understand it's way too good to be true. But just because it wasn't invented, does that mean it wasn't possible? Right? I mean, we're all dealing with a crisis on our hands where, like Johns Hopkins Medical study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. They're saying 86% of Americans will be overweight or obese in 4.5 years. Does that sound to any of you like diets are working, or is it just me that I missed something here, right? So apparently there's a creatine now that's available as well. That's what they're saying. That must be one of the coaches. Okay, great. Oh, keep tapping. We're at 6,200 likes. So I guess the point is, who would like to, do you want me to explain again how they did that? What do you have questions about this? Please, let's have comments. Let's have shares. Let's have likes. Let's really have a great opportunity to be part of this movement called the New Health Conversation. You don't have to join. You don't have to join anything. If you go to that website, we will not contact you. Do you all understand that? That's the medical proof. We shouldn't have to convince you. If you go there and you like what you see, you're going to want to get a free coach who will answer any additional questions for you. Okay, thanks. Yeah, great. So who else would like to ask me a question? We have a lot of people on here. Wow, we're at 6,400 likes. Come on, let's get some more taps on that screen. Let's get up into the thousands. Look, here's the website. Type in the new health conversation. Boom, there it is. Free website, free. There's nothing to buy there. There's no buy buttons. I just look at this picture here and think to myself, wow, that's an older guy, 40.8 pounds, 52.5 inches in 30 days. Look at his lab work, his A1C from 8.4 to 6.4, triglycerides 242 to 124. That's in 30 days with no exercise. Look at his stomach. Look at how much his stomach went down. Yes, the coach, you can talk to them every day if you want. They'll talk to you, they'll call you, and the coaching's all free. Understand that. It's not, Ches, great question. It's not just the initial consultation. Ches, tell me, does it sound too good to be true? Be honest with me. It probably sounds too good to be true, right? But there's no reason for us to have to make up anything because we have this kind of proof. Well, even more so, the actual medical proof, itself, right? And look at Andy. This is a younger guy. He lost 45 pounds at 60 inches in a month. Look at his A1C from 7.9 to 6.2. His LDL from 120 to 59. That's in 30 days with no exercise allowed. They actually were Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising. Isn't that just amazing, all of you? Isn't that incredible? So let's come back to Kristen. So who has a question about that? How in the world did she lose 5 pounds a week? 5 pounds a week for 30 days and has kept it off. Again, Ches, the coaches will go over all that with you. There's a great type of question because we don't know. Do you exercise? Don't. Because we have people that don't exercise. We have people that are older and they can't exercise, let's say. So the coaches are there for everything to answer all your questions, okay? Ches, does that make sense? Are you excited about going to the website and maybe talking to a coach? That should be your goal, right? And I want you to know, Ches, and you do see the website, Ches, right? Right above her head in blue, the new health conversation, correct? You do see that. Because some people said they had trouble reading it, it was blurry, whatever. Okay, so great. So who else would like to come on here and ask me a question or make a comment? Or somebody said they like my tie. Good, I'm glad. Or anything else. You don't like my glasses, but you like my tie, or you like my glasses and you don't like my tie, or whatever it is. It's all in good faith. But this is a very serious situation. You're going on diets, counting calories, and your body has no idea what a calorie even is. Again, I'm waiting. We're now at meals are not boring and repetitive. No. No, oh God, no, absolutely not. You have a wide variety, like proteins, I think there's like 20 different choices. There's probably 20 different kinds, 30, 40 different kinds of carbohydrates. No, it's a wide variety of choices, a wide variety. Again, Ches, those are the kind of questions you can get answered by the coaches, okay? But who else? Ches is really stepping up and asking lots of questions. Oh, we're at 7,800 likes. Come on, everybody, tap on the screen. Let's get going. Let's get going. Tap, 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 tap. If you like the content. If you don't, then don't tap. But again, I'm just waiting for anybody to ask me, are you curious, anybody, about how did she do that? Person, why day 1 looks better than day 30? On this picture, Darson? Are you being serious or are you being a comedian? So you're saying day 1 looks... Well, she lost 21 pounds and 38 inches in 30 days. Or when you look, you think this looks better? You think day 1 on that looks better than 3 months later? 60 pounds in 3 months? What are you implying? I'd like to know. Okay? I'm just curious. This is real science. This is based, we have the only peer-reviewed human trial studies on all the internet, across all the platforms with peer-reviewed real human medical studies. Nobody else does. Everything else is a bunch of complete and utter nonsense. Or you look at Curtis, come on, an older guy, 40 pounds, 52 inches in just 30 days. Look at his blood work. Now you can think we lied. You can think photoshopped it. We didn't. But his A1C from 8.4 to 6.4, his triglycerides from 242 to 124. Show me any diet that's ever produced anything like that. It doesn't exist. Because the researchers who did this, they've had 100 studies over 40 years, thousands of people. They've never seen results like this ever before, ever. So anyway, for the rest of you. So I'm not sure what yes, sir means. I don't know if it's good or bad, whatever. You can have whatever opinion you want. It doesn't change. The science doesn't change, okay? The science doesn't care. She really lost 21.2 pounds and 38 inches in a month. She gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass with no exercise. There's no comparisons, nothing on the planet like this. So who else would like to ask me a question? 1949, Anna. Lovely. Hello, everybody. Again, we're at 8,300. Can we get some more taps? Let's get up to 9,000, 10,000. Come on, let's go, everybody. If you like the content, tap on the screen. Okay? So who would like to find out? Well, let's go back to April. People love April because that's 60 pounds in 3 months. It looks like a different woman. I know. People think we photoshopped it. It's the daughter of a friend of mine. I'm not going to Photoshop my friend's daughter. We don't have to make anything up because we have the peer-reviewed human trial studies that nobody else has. So whoever any of you are following, you have no medical proof. You have opinions. That's it. That's all you have. That doesn't mean anything in the medical world. It means zero. So how did she do it? Okay, Flo, that's a great question. Okay, so I'm sure there's some other people that are curious about how did she do that. But let's come back to a more, let's just come back and look at the first 30 days. This woman here, 21 pounds, 38 inches. Okay, so here's how they did it. The researchers who invented this are rated the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world, the top people. They've done 100 studies over 40 years, thousands on every diet out there. And they're the ones that invented this because they said after 40 years, there was never a diet. Not only did people not keep the weight off, but 2/3 ended up weighing more than they started. And the main fallacy of all these diets, they're based on the wrong principle about calories in, calories out. Does anyone know, can anyone give me the medical definition, what's a calorie, even though you're all counting them? But let's leave that aside for a moment. The body runs from a metabolic standpoint of view on one principle, and that's a minimum amount, not of calories, but of nutrition. The reason diets fail, it's actually pretty simple when you think about it. You go on a diet, you reduce the quantity of food you're consuming, and at the same time, what are you reducing? Nutrition. When the brain senses you don't have enough nutrition to run your heart, your kidneys, or everything, what it does, it has to slow down your metabolism. It's not an option, okay? And it also slows down your immune system. That's why you go on these diets, you lose weight initially, then it stops, then you plateau, then you quit the diet, you get the yo-yo effect. You all know that's happening. But the worst part is you also compromise your own, well, not compromise, but you make it less effective, your immune system. So the researchers said, wait a minute. If only thing the body cares about is nutrition, then we need to go find foods that have a high, what they call nutritional density. In other words, high amounts of nutrition relative to how much food you'd have to eat to get that much nutrition. So they put together a grocery list. 30% of what she consumed came from your grocery store. Proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. And instead of giving her calorie amounts, they gave her serving sizes. Now keep in mind, these are the top researchers in the world who put these grocery lists together that you would get, you take to your grocery store. But only about, whatever you spent last month, figure about 30% you're going to spend this month on the foods from your grocery store. That leaves 70% of your food budget to go to pay for these exotic foods from around the world that these researchers, not the ones who created this protocol, but the ones who found this, who had gone physically to Russia, to Mongolia, to Tibet, South America, New Zealand, to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small quantities of food. You got it, everybody, so far? So it was a combination, 30% of the food from the grocery store and 70% from these foods around the world. Well, that wasn't the complete picture. Then they invented, using these food groups, 2 new ways of consuming food. So her, you, whatever, 5 days a week, you'd have 4 meals a day. You hear me, everybody? Starting with these exotic foods, that's your breakfast. Lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a 4th meal after dinner from these exotic foods from around the world. And then there was another part to this. It was called protein pacing. It's actually patented, U.S. Patent Office. And the pattern of, so let me put it in layman's terms. What they determined was it wasn't just that she was getting all this nutrition, it was how they spaced it out over the course of 8 or 10 hours. So you get a schedule of when you'd be eating. Okay, if you're having breakfast at this time, what time should you have lunch? If you're having lunch at this time, what time should you have dinner? If you're having dinner, then what time should you have your fourth meal after dinner? It's all laid out. There's no guesswork. I'll show you that in just a moment. Now, 2 days a week, this is what's going to spin all of you out of control. 2 days a week, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world. And what she was doing was something called intermittent nutritional fasting, not fasting. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world. But this time she was eating them 8 times a day. So she was having a meal about every hour and a half. And look what happened. Hold on, I'm just adjusting the social media here. Okay, good. So the people doing this, we have people who weigh 500 pounds. They weren't hungry because hunger was never based on calories. It was only based on nutrition. So 2 days a week, she was doing 48-hour intermittent nutritional fasting, not fasting, okay? Now, the key to this is not whether you can lose the weight. You can see that it's the maintenance part. Now, how simple is maintenance? Breakfast, like this morning, I had the exotic foods around the world. That was my breakfast. Had a regular lunch. I'm going to have dinner here later on. And then that's it. And then maybe every couple months, I do another 48-hour intermittent nutritional fast, not for weight loss, for detox. At the end of the day, for all of you, this is a detox. At the end of the day, the researchers did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis and proved that this protocol called R2M, that's what it's called, was helping the body get rid of chemicals. That's why her stomach shrank so much. Because what we're doing, the body, to protect us from the chemicals that are in our environment now, when those chemicals enter the body's taking them. Once the liver can't handle them anymore. By the way, 25% of you have what's called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease because our livers are so overwhelmed trying to basically house the toxins. When the liver can't handle it anymore, then the toxin, the body has one last chance. It takes that chemical and stuffs it in your visceral fat. That's the fat around your organs. That's why you look at her stomach on day 1, you see all that bloating, and then on day 30, it's totally gone. Because again, this protocol is helping the body get rid of the toxins so the fat cells shrink. Don't let anybody tell you you're burning fat. They're completely lying to you if they tell you that. You're born with a certain number of fat cells, you die with a certain number of fat cells, and those fat cells over your lifetime expand or contract. Now, to be totally medically accurate, you lose about 10% of your fat cells every year. But the minute you lose them, the body replaces them. The only way you can reduce fat in your body is liposuction and surgery, just to let you know. So the key here is that it's not just about losing the weight. It's about being able to keep it off for the rest of your life. And more importantly, being able to detoxify your own body because we're storing all these chemicals inside of us. Somebody said, thank you for the, I'm going to leave and go check it out. Great, Ches. Who else was, come on, good news to hear, but I wonder why this is the first time ever hearing about it. Well, I don't know. It's the first time I guess you've ever been on my podcast. Hold on just a second. Let me just scroll up here. So who was saying that? If I do exercise, okay. So hold on, I want to just see. Someone asked me a question, how day 30 increase height by 1 feet in those 2 pics? Oh, Darson, you know what? You're just a pain in my ass. I'm getting rid of you. Bye. See you later, alligator. Just people like you are just a waste of time, just a total waste of time. It's ridiculous that you come on and you make comments, you don't have any proof. So you're standing in 2 parts of the room. Bye, Darson. Have a great afternoon. Go watch golf. We're changing the world, okay? Face is different. I promise you. You mean here? It's the same woman, Michelle. I promise you. Oh, you're talking about April? She's in a totally different room. Look, it's a completely different room. It's not the same room. On the left, look at the light fixture above her head, and then on the right, see that smoke alarm. It's my friend's daughter. We're not photoshopping anything. We'd have to Photoshop all of them. You think we Photoshop Curtis too? You think we Photoshop Brian? Really? Now that's with exercise, by the way. 50 pounds in 4 months. You think we Photoshopped the cover of the #1 women's magazine in the world? You think we Photoshopped that, everybody? The nurse, I coached both these women. The nurse is 57, lost 50 pounds in 3 months. The mom is 80, lost 90 pounds in 9 months, and they both kept it off for 3 years. Believe whatever you want to believe, everybody. We're only presenting you medical proof. You can have whatever opinion you want. But the reality is your diet you're on right now, 2/3 you're going to weigh more than what you did before. Maybe you'll remember, this crazy madman was telling us, the scientist, that this is what was going to happen. I mean, come on. John Hopkins Medical School study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese. I'd love for any of you that are making comments, tell me about what diet you think works, because the medical proof doesn't support it. I mean, right here, why you shouldn't count calories. While counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight in the short term, the approach has never been proven to keep weight off long term. What's even worse, 2/3 of people who try to count or restrict calories gain back more weight than they lost. That's not my opinion. You can have whatever opinion you want, but that's the medical reality. My God, we've even got Harvard Medical School here. Stop counting calories. The idea of a calorie in, calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford, obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion, Stanford said. It's time to take a different approach by concentrating on what's in the food, not how much food we're consuming. So it's not going to change my life. Do whatever diet you think you're going to do, but they don't work. I mean, go to the beach today. Go to the mall. Look at America. Do you think diets are working, anybody? So let's see. Health span advocate. Cool. Yeah, no, nose is the same person. Good, Elise. What exotic food? Okay, so is that you asking that, Denise, or Elise, or whoever? So the exotic, okay, so when I'm talking about exotic foods, I'm really talking about exotic nutrients. For example, some of the nutrients they found came in Mongolia and actually were used by Genghis Khan to calm his troops. They're proven to lower stress in the body. It's already proven. Another ingredient comes from the Himalayas, and it absolutely lowers inflammation in the body. So unlike other people about making a claim, in the medical studies, they proved that inflammation, came down 25% in a month. Another thing in these exotic foods are naturally occurring vitamins. Actually, one of the food sources has 22 naturally occurring vitamins. The vitamins you're taking in a supplement, they're made in a laboratory, they're very ineffective in the overall scheme of things inside the body. So when we're talking about exotic foods, we're really, to be more precise, we're really talking about exotic nutrients, okay? Because 30% of the food that you're going to consume on this, if you do it, comes from your grocery store, proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But instead of giving you calorie amounts, which the researchers didn't do, they gave her serving sizes. So these exotic foods from around the world, and the researchers have said, those exotic foods make up the world's most perfect meals from a nutritional standpoint. Another thing that they have that you can't get, well, you can get in this country, they're called trace ionic minerals. Now, if you're not familiar with those, I'm not talking about iron, calcium, magnesium. I'm talking about these tiny little minerals, of which in the best organic you can find in this country, you get 20. We need 70. Now, what are trace ionic minerals? Things like gold and silver and zinc and beryllium and boron and selenium and molybdenum. So I don't care how much food you're eating in this country, you're getting 20. The other 50 you're just not getting. So again, the researchers found sources that had all 70 minerals. So now hopefully you're understanding, you're building the world's most perfect meal from a nutritional standpoint. So it's not a matter of you're going to buy organic, you're going to do whole food, and you're going to get this. You're not getting it in this. It's so bad now in this country that Cornell University did a study on spinach. From 1953 to 2020, they looked at the iron levels in spinach for all of you. And that iron level has decreased in that time period by 4,300%. So a bowl of spinach in 1953, today you'd have to eat 25, 30 bowls of spinach to equal the nutrition. You wonder why people weigh 500 pounds? You wonder why people are never full? Because they're relying on calories and not nutrition. Because our food in this country is becoming more and more and more processed, more and more compromised, because we compromised the soil. We don't rotate the crops anymore. We're using herbicides. We're using nitrates and phosphates to grow these huge amounts of food, but they have very little nutritional value. You're seeing the change now nationally. Not getting into politics, but I'm very happy. At least they're opening up the fact that we have 10,000 chemicals used in the production of food in this country, and all but 400 are banned in Europe. I mean, really? Some of you have said they've gone to Europe and you can't believe it. You're eating and you're losing weight, right? Because your body, and they have much smaller portions over there. If you've ever been to Europe, I remember the first time I went, I think it was I can't remember where I was, maybe in Italy and they brought out dinner and I thought, oh God, I'm going to be starving to death. I was shocked. I was completely full. I was satisfied. It was great because it was all natural and had lots of nutrition. like we used to have in this country, 150 years ago. I mean, all of you, you're entitled with your own opinions. You can believe whatever you want to believe. But if you think diets are working, go to the beach today. Seriously, go to the beach. And you tell me if you think that diets are working. So, okay, let me see who else is. What exotic food? Yes, Denise. So, Denise, did that make sense to you? I just want to make sure. I always want to do my best to be respectful and answer people's questions, unless they're, coming on and making some foolish statement or trying to be cute or whatever. Look, we're serious scientists. You have to understand the only thing we present to you is pure medical evidence. Look, I've written, not to brag, but I've written 4 best-selling books to some of the top medical doctors in the world. And I've done over 1,500 lectures. I've done 20 shows on PBS. I lectured, one of my biggest honors, at Autism One, the largest autism conference in the world, 2 years in a row in Chicago. So again, I have a certain amount of credibility, but I'll be honest with you, for 22 of my 23 years being a researcher in the medical world, all of that, the books, everything I did in the medical world, it meant zero. Why? Because there were no peer-reviewed human trial studies. See, the danger is you're listening, they're nice people, to these influencers, and you're turning your health over to them. They don't have any medical proof about what they're telling you. Wow, we're at 11,000 likes. I love this audience. Thank you, everybody. Even the people that want to, try to disrupt things because they want to be smart. Well, when you appear 20 times on PBS and do 15 and speak in, University of Notre Dame and the University of Maryland and UCLA and write 4 best-selling books and be on the biggest TV shows in America, then maybe you can comment. I don't have time for that, okay? People can disagree with me, and the only thing I ask is be civil. You can disagree with me. The science doesn't care if you call me a name. The science is the science. The science is the proof. Look, here's the website, everybody. Type in Google, the New Health Conversation. It comes up, click on there. There's the website. There's nothing to buy. There's nothing on that website to buy. We did it on purpose because we wanted you to be comfortable that you could go to the website and you could see it right above your head in blue, the New Health Conversation. Does everyone see that? Is it clear? Because some people said they were having a hard time reading it. That website, we will not contact you if you go there. What the heck? Why would we need to? It's the medical proof. If you believe in medical proof, then you get to choose. If you want a coach, scroll down and get a free coach. Heck, 70% of the food you're going to buy from these exotic foods around the world, they give you 100% money back guarantee in the first 30 days. What is your risk? Your skepticism. Your skepticism, your opinions are holding you back from maybe changing the rest of your life. That picture you're looking at there, she lost that weight 8 years ago. She's kept it off for 8 years. So, okay, wait a minute. What do you suggest? What can we do? Okay, Lizzie, I'm going to explain it to you right now. Raymond from my post. Okay, so everybody, will you all do me a favor? Please be patient. For me to explain this to you, it's going to take me a couple of minutes. It's not a 10-second answer. Okay, can we agree? Can you do that? I promise it'll be worth it. So first of all, who invented this? The top weight loss nutrition physiologist in the entire world. For 40 years, they had done 100 studies, thousands of people looking at every diet out there, and they finally came to the conclusion about 13 years ago that all diets were complete busts, they never worked, and 2/3 of the people on all the diets they studied gained back more weight than they lost. Now, what was the flaw? The flaw was that every diet out there is some form of counting calories. I'm still waiting, we're more than an hour for someone to give me the medical definition of a calorie. So far, in a year's time, probably 100, 200 podcasts, I've had 7 people ever give me the correct definition. I didn't know what a calorie was 24 years ago, so don't feel bad. But counting calories is one of the most insane, ridiculous things we've ever done. Here's why. The human body has no idea what a calorie is. When you see the definition, if someone comes up with it, you'll understand why. What does your body, how come we're alive? Not because of calories. We're alive because of one principle, and that is we need a minimum amount of what? Not calories, nutrition, in order to run all our organs, the internal mechanism, our heart, our kidney, pancreas, lungs, etc. They run on nutrition. They don't run on calories. The researchers figured this out, and they said, wait a minute. We need to do this. We need to go and find foods that have higher levels of nutrition even though they didn't care so much about the quantity. They cared about, only thing that mattered was how much nutrition could you get. So they put together a grocery list that you all would get if you do this: proteins, fats, carbs, fats, and fruits. But instead of giving you calorie amounts, these researchers, they gave you serving sizes. So when it was, let's say it was protein, how many ounces? Let's say it was a vegetable. Was it a third of a cup or a half a cup, depending on which vegetable it was? There's a long list of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, etc. Long list. It's not some short list, okay? But they picked the foods with high, dense nutrition, but only 30% of what you consume. Now here's the magic part. These researchers who don't sell anything, by the way, there's no products involved here. It's food. I just told you 30% you're going to buy from your local grocery store. The other 70% you're going to buy directly from these other researchers who for 20 years had gone around the world to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, and found foods with large amounts of nutrition or nutrients themselves. That's maybe a better way to say it. So now they had the food they were going to give to her in the studies. So they started out, and by utilizing 30% from the grocery store and these exotic foods from around the world, they put together a new eating schedule. 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. You heard me. Starting with these exotic foods, that was breakfast, lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a 4th meal after dinner from these exotic foods around the world. But that wasn't even the secret. The secret, and they called this sequencing protein pacing. What does the pacing mean? It mattered like what time you had breakfast, then what time should you have lunch. Then you had lunch, what time should you have dinner, and then once you had dinner, what time should you have your 4th meal after dinner. So the timing, the spacing, the pacing of the nutrition made all the difference in the world. They proved it. And they also said you could never do this with 100% regular food. You'd need too much quantity of food in order to make it work. So 2 days a week. Now this will spin all of you. It always does. You're going to do she did something called intermittent, listen to the second word, everyone, nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store at all. Only these exotic foods from around the world. But this time she ate, listen to this, everybody. They let her eat 8 times a day. She was eating every hour and a half or so, or 2 hours. Look at the results. You know, there are people doing this, weigh 500 pounds. They weren't hungry. They were never hungry for calories. They thought they were, and they used calories, but they were really hungry for nutrition. Am I making sense, everybody? Do you understand this? And the key here is not, can you lose the weight? I mean, that's like, for us, it's a joke. Of course you can lose the weight. But teaching you how to keep it off for the rest of your life, maintenance. Oh, how simple is maintenance? Exotic foods, breakfast every day. Lunch and dinner, and then every couple months do another 48-hour intermittent nutritional fast once you get the weight off you. That's what I did. My breakfast this morning was these exotic foods. I had lunch a little while ago, and then we have dinner tonight. That's it. Kind of live my life. But you all have to understand, the key is to get the weight off you as quickly and safely as possible. What's the approximate weight loss in a month you can expect? What you're seeing, at least 20 pounds. At least 20. Now, I'm assuming firecracker, you have more than, if you have 10 pounds to lose, you'll probably lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks, just to give you an idea. How much are you looking to lose? And I'll give you a more accurate. I know it sounds hard to believe. I know it's hard to believe, but you've got to understand, firecracker. We've got 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies backing up, and then they just published this June 9th, Women's World, the #1 women's magazine in the world, the cover story, the 2 women. I coached them. The daughter, 57 years old, 50 pounds in 3 months. The mom, 90 pounds in 9 months, and they both kept it off for 3 years. The only reason to do it, it's not a question, can we get the weight off you? That's a joke. We want to teach you how to keep it off for the rest of your life. 50. Okay, so firecracker, look at my friend's daughter, not Photoshop. She lost 60 pounds in 3 months. So I would say easily you could lose 50 pounds in 3 months. I know it sounds crazy to you, firecracker. And do you notice right above her head there in blue, the New Health Conversation? Please do yourself a favor. Go there. We will not contact you. But if you like what you see, then you get a free coach, because nobody does this without a free coach. I mean, it'd be like, imagine if you could join the gym and they give you a free trainer, wouldn't you take it? We all got coached. You've never done anything like this before. Don't try to think you have this figured out. It's like some kind of diet, and no, it's not a diet. It's a new way of living our lives for the long term. Does that make sense to you, Firecracker? Yeah. Is that pretty encouraging? Are you are you excited? Oh, I love all you guys. You're so great. We're at 11,000 likes. You're really making me feel wonderful. I love my audiences, and we have people even right now from all over the world, that are tuning in. Because Firecracker, we have 1 billion people worldwide that are clinically obese. But listen, Firecracker, you know what they say? Yes, of course, Watchman. Go ahead. Yes, you asked me twice. Can we ask a question? Okay, go ahead. What's the question? And keep tapping on that screen. Let's get to 12 or 14,000 here. How do you think about? Oh, wonderful question. Oh, Lizzie, that wasn't Watchman. So Watchman, what's your question? Because Lizzie beat you out there. But I'm going to talk about the GLP-1s here in just a moment. Okay, well, let me answer the question about the GLP-1, and then Watchman, I promise I'll answer your question. So now again, I want you all to understand, I'm a researcher. Nothing that I'm sharing with you is my opinion. I don't want you to believe me. We only rely on peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. So here's a huge one on the GLP-1 semaglutide. So again, I want you to understand, Lizzie, that you can go Google the New England Journal of Medicine semaglutide once weekly in adults overweight and obese. I'm reading from the study. After 68 weeks, okay, let me go back to Christian for a moment. After 68 weeks, the weight loss, this is published by the New England Journal of Medicine, was 32 pounds. And of the 32 pounds people lost, 40% was lean muscle mass. 40%. And then they had the audacity to say, this is clinically relevant reduction in body weight. Wait a minute. She didn't get the memo. She lost 21 pounds in a month. This took them 68 weeks to lose 32 pounds and 40% was lean muscle. And I'll tell you this, they're advertising on TV now. You're buying other supplements to support the fact you're losing lean muscle mass. I'm not against the shots. That's the thing that's so crazy. They're helping diabetics and people who are morbidly obese. But if those people had the choice between the shot and this, which would you choose? Fire any of you. Which would you choose? No, I didn't say semaglutide. No, I'm telling you. Well, let me ask you something, Callista. If it took you 68 weeks to lose 32 pounds versus losing 21 pounds in a month, which one would you take? Or my friend's daughter, 60 pounds in 3 months. According to these studies, that would have taken them 52 months. Take them almost 5 years on the shots. Which one would you choose? We don't make things up. We're not even giving it. We're just reading them. You decide, Callisto. You tell me which one you would do, given the choice. Doing what? This. Firecracker says this. So the Carradine home, doing what? Okay, Cynde, Cordova. I'm going to explain to you what they did. But Watchman, you never, okay, so when you get to the website, you sign up for a consultation. If you want, you don't have to. Royal, you get to see all the medical proof for free. We do not contact you unless you contact us. So actually, you're not signing up for anything. You're deciding if you want a consultation. It's 100% free, the consultation, and they coach you the whole time and get you to maintenance and show you. That picture's 8 or 9 years old for her. She's kept the weight up for 8 or 9 years. So I'm going to explain to everybody how they did it. Okay, so let's go back to Kristen because that's 5 pounds a week in a month. Let's just go at a month at a time. So the researchers who created this, just to let you know, Callista, or who else was asking me, I lost 10 pounds in a month with semaglutide. Yeah, but you didn't lose 21 pounds, and you certainly didn't. But the problem is, Callista, of the 10 pounds, I can promise you, based on the study, 40% was lean muscle mass. And will you be able to keep it off? Probably absolutely not, okay? So I'm explaining to someone how they did it. So doing what? Okay, I'm going to answer that for you, Cynde. So the researchers who invented this are the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. There are no products involved. This involves food, okay? So they, after 100 studies, after 40 years, thousands of people on every diet out there, they said 2/3 of you gain back more weight than you lost, and that certainly is on the shot. People coming off the shots, just to let you know, they're gaining about a half a pound a day because they've madly, well, I'm going to explain to you why that's happening. All diets have nothing to do with counting calories. You can do that if you want, but the human body has no idea what a calorie is. It doesn't want calories. It operates on one principle, whether it's the shot or anything else, and that is a minimum amount of nutrition. Now, what do the shots do? They slow the food down moving through your digestive tract. You're full longer. Code word, you're consuming less food, which means you're consuming less nutrition. When your brain figures out on the shot or anything else, there's not enough nutrition to run all your organs, your brain, kidney, liver, heart, etc., what does it do? It slows down your metabolism. That's what's happening to everybody in these shots. It's not up for debate. But in addition, when you lose lean muscle mass, you have to understand, you know what else you do to yourself? You slow down your own immune system. You're making yourself unhealthy. I don't care if it's the shot. They're limiting the amount of nutrition you're getting. It's a really bad outcome. That's why they gain all the weight back once they come off the shot, because they've lost their lean muscle mass. But the researchers knew this. So they said, wait a minute. We want to change things up. We want to go, forget calories, forget amounts. The only thing that matters to our body is nutrition. So they went and found foods that were nutritionally dense. And they picked them out. And you'd get a list of that, but only 30% of what you consume is from the grocery store: proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits. But instead of giving you calorie counts like they do on these stupid diets, including the shots, they gave serving sizes because it was only based on the amount of nutrition. It had nothing to do with calorie counting. Nothing. Zero. Then, here's why the shot would never compete with this. The researchers then found other researchers that had gone around the world, places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, and found huge amounts of nutrients, but in very small quantities of food. It has nothing to do with the amount of food you're consuming. It only has to do with the amount of nutrition that you're consuming, which the shot is limiting the amount of food you're consuming, and you're already eating food that's already compromised. Even if you think you're doing organic on the shots, a bowl of spinach. Cornell University, 1953 to 2020, estimates the iron levels in spinach have decreased by 4,300% in those time frame. So a bowl of spinach in 1953, today you got to eat about 30 bowls of spinach. So now you're on a shot limiting the amount of food you're consuming from the grocery store that's already compromised. Do you wonder why they're losing lean muscle? What, are you kidding me? It's ridiculous. And I'm not even against the shots. Anybody wants to do it, do it. It's helping diabetics. It's even people who are morbidly obese. But compared to this, it's a joke. Compared to this, it's a joke when you got a guy, an older guy, losing 40 pounds in a month. Well, according to this study, it should have taken him about, instead of 68 weeks, I'd have to do the math, it'd probably take him 18 months or whatever it is. Look at him. No exercise. But look at his blood work. His A1C from 8.4 to 6.4. Triglycerides 242 to 124. That's in 30 days, everybody. Now, you can think it's Photoshop. You can think we're lying. But we don't need to do that. We don't have to. Because you can go to the website right there in blue and see there's an interview with the #1 nutritional researcher in the world, rated #1. You should hear what he says about the shots. Not what I said, what he says. The shot's a low-calorie diet. That's all it is. That's all it is. And when we're talking about even Medicare, talking about calorie counting, which is that's what the GLP-1s are. Listen, this is Medicare. This isn't my opinion, so don't get mad at me. Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. Our researchers at Medicare reviewed long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether any diet is an effective treatment for obesity. The studies show that 2/3 of dieters regain more weight than they lost on any diet. In summary, there's little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. Good luck on the shots, because 2/3 are going to end up more than we're dealing with people right now that are coming off the shots. I'm telling you, they're gaining as much as a half a pound a day. So the long time it took to lose the weight, they're gaining it back like sometimes in a few weeks. Do whatever you want to do. We're not here to dissuade you. We're not here to. We're scientists. We're just presenting you the evidence. Do whatever you want to do. And we're not against the shots, but comparing the shots to this, it's like a joke. It literally is like a joke. But there are people diabetics, they need it. So I'm not against it. So the body understands proteins, carbs, fats, etc. Wait a second. Hold on just a moment. They're making all kinds of comments. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to respond here. So the body understands proteins, carbs, fats. How does it not understand calories? Go look at the research. A calorie is just a measurement. It's not a real thing. Do you have the definition just cleaned? No one's been able to give me the definition of a calorie. I've had 7 people in a year give me, I've spoken in medical schools and hospitals, asking the doctors. No doctors knew what a calorie even was. A calorie is just a measurement. It's not a real thing. That's why the body doesn't know what it is. Does that make sense? So you put it in twice, just so I said how expensive it is to eat. You're going to spend probably about what you spent last month on a total, on whatever your total food bill was last month, by 30% from the grocery store and 70% from these exotic foods around the world. You'll probably spend about what you did last month, maybe $100 more. I mean, everybody's different. Because again, we have kids 2 years old doing this. We have a lady 91. We have people with no thyroids. We have a man with a heart transplant. We have people with a kidney transplant. We have people with no gallbladders. Those are all different. Someone with high blood pressure. So again, a 2-year-old's not going to do the same program that she did, for example. So as far as the cost goes, that's why go to the website, prove me wrong if you want, look at the medical proof. If you like what you see, then get a coach and they'll answer all those questions for you. We're not trying to be evasive. This is the answer. This is the answer. And again, all of you are telling me about any of these other protocols. This is the only one with 10 peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. Is it a coincidence that none of these other programs have peer-reviewed human trial studies? I'll tell you why. Because it exposed that the claims they're making are unsubstantiated, not substantiated. These are done in the biggest medical journals in the world. The Obesity Journal, Frontiers in Physiology, Nutrients, Nutrition Journal, Frontiers in Nutrition. And this one right here, this is the #1 medical journal in the world, Nature Communications, and their study of this wasn't even about the weight loss. You know what it's about? Let me read it. Gut microbiome remodeling and metabolic profile improves dramatically in response to protein pacing and intermittent nutritional fasting. It had nothing to do with the weight loss. It was the health improvement. Because the other thing that we have proof, they did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis proving this is detoxing. This is helping the body get rid of toxins. All this other crap you're seeing with detox claims, they don't have one shred of medical evidence to back up what they're saying. These products that supposedly detox your body and lose weight. You're taking lotions, potions, pills, etc. Well, let me prove it to you. Here's PubMed, which is the largest depository of medical research. And what they're talking about here are products. They said, as of June 15, 2025, there are no irrefutable peer-reviewed human trials on PubMed or elsewhere that substantiate the claims of these commercial detox products for toxin removal, weight loss, or health proteins, health promotion. There's not one. Well, these are not products. These are food and a protocol. There's 10 on PubMed. 10. What are you going to follow? Opinions? Can if you want. So let's see. How expensive to eat nutritiously? I just explained that to you. What's the website, please? Callisto, can you see it right there above her head? The New Health Conversation. Give me a yes if you can see that. No, just cleanse. No, it's not a unit of energy. It's keep going. You're doing okay, but that's not what a calorie is, okay? Am I not intending to give off the wrong tone? I'm just genuinely curious. No, you're not giving off the wrong tone. Am I being a jerk? I don't know. You're being very civil. My only rule is if you're going to come on, there's no point in calling me names. I'm not saying you're doing that, okay? So please don't get offensive that I'm a scientist, but you can tell I'm pretty hardwired. I'm saying unless they have medical proof, it's all nonsense. It's all about hot air. So when people come on and whether they want to challenge me or whatever they're doing, I've got medical professionals coming on here now. I can see them. I'm sure they'll back me up. So let's see. Also, I'm intending to give off. No, you're not at all. No, Callista. Don't let me mispronounce it. Callistra. Is that correct? I hate mispronouncing names. I'm a very nice person. But I'm a dyed-in-the-wool researcher, 23 years, wrote 4 best-selling books, been on 20 times on PBS. Was on the 4 biggest daytime shows in America, 1,500 live lectures at universities and hospitals and towns. Hell, they flew me to China to lecture on this because I was considered I was the I discovered this medical syndrome, for crying out loud, that you all have, called TDOS. So Callister and everybody else, you have TDOS, whether you know it or not. What's it stand for? T for toxins, D for deficiency, O for being overweight, S is for stress. Guess what we're doing? We're storing chemicals in our fat cells, whether you know it or not. That's what, look at her stomach on day one. The body, to protect us, is taking the chemicals in our world and stuffing them in our fat cells. And that, even people that are thin, they think they get a pass. No, you don't. Huge study calls, just because you're thin doesn't mean you're healthy. They took 350 athletes, did MRIs on their bodies, and found around their brain, kidney, liver, heart, pancreas, prostate, breast tissue, this white halo, this toxic fat, called the body's toxic burden. They're breathing the same air we are and eating. I mean, even if you're doing organic, it still has about 25 or 30% of the herbicides and pesticides in regular food. And in 200 studies, organic is slightly better than regular food nutritionally in North America. That's why these researchers went and found the other researchers who'd gone around the world to areas where there still was huge amounts of nutrition, no herbicides, no pesticides. And many of these nutrients came in areas in the food where people living to be 100 years old and older. I want that in my body. I don't know about the rest of you. It's not a diet. My gosh, please give it up. It's not a diet. And we're giving you a free website to go. We're not even going to contact you if you go there. You get to choose if you want a coach or not. But we're not forcing you to get a coach to see the medical proof. Why would we have to do that? We let the medical proof convince you. You want a coach. You want to talk to a coach. And everybody's different. Like I said, we got kids as young as 2. Well, to be correct, my grandson, at 14 months, when his mom stopped breastfeeding, started on part of this. But we've got a lady 91 years old. We have people with no thyroids and heart transplant. And we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, or preventing any diseases. But we are sharing with you the medical proof in these studies. But even more, this was the cover of Women's World, the #1 women's magazine in the world, June 9th. So that was what, 13 days ago. I coached both of these women. They're my friends now because they did amazing. The daughter's 57, a nurse. She's a nurse. She lost 50 pounds in 3 months. The mom is 80. She lost 90 pounds in 9 months. They both kept it off now for 3 years. You think you get on the cover of Women's World if it was some kind of a scam? Look at the headline, over 50 protein miracle. They're actually saying, maybe you can read it, powerful new eating pattern can take off weight faster than anything else you've tried. They saw the research. That's why they did. And then there's a big story inside. Let me show you so you don't think, I don't make up stuff. I mean, other people do, good for them, but that's not what I do. I'm totally, why would you believe me? I don't want you to believe anything. But gosh, dang it. Look at that article. New protein miracle diet. That's the magazine saying there's no like, you're not buying an ad. This is a news story. Now, why did they do that? Because they saw the medical studies. They saw the proof of exactly what they were saying. Because it's this new combination. Only 30% of the food from North America, I'm sorry to say, our food in North America is all but nutritionally bankrupt. So don't give me this nonsense. I'm going to eat whole foods and I'm going to get organic and you're going to... No, you're not going to duplicate. These researchers for 40 damn years, they used organic. And 2/3 of all the diets, 100 studies, thousands of people. Nobody, 2/3 of people gain back more weight than they lost. Does that sound any of you like diets are working? I don't want to be, a downer here. I don't want to be, a lot of you get mad at me, like people want to come on and try and screw around and say, oh, it's a different woman, it's a different height. We don't have time to mess. We don't have time to Photoshop stuff. Are you telling me you think we lied to you? That's an older guy, lost 40 pounds, 52 inches in 30 days. You think we faked his lab work? Because in the medical studies, you'll see the lab work, cholesterol, all this stuff I'm showing you. It's in the public record in the biggest medical journals in the world. Nobody has that. You're following these influencers that are giving you opinions on nonsense. Everything from this time-restricted eating where you don't eat for 16 hours and eat for 8. And you're going to lose 20 pounds in a month. Most of it's fat. Right there, red flag. There's no such thing as losing fat. You're born with a certain number of fat cells. You die with a certain number of fat cells. Right away, you should question that. The fat cells shrink or expand. That's it. But you don't lose. Well, technically you lose about 10% a year, but the body immediately replaces them. So the net amount of fat cells doesn't change unless you do liposuction or surgery. Is this enlightening you or making you mad at me? Because a lot of people get mad at me. I'm bringing you this research for free. You can go and look at the research right there. It's right there. Look, go to the website. Type in the new health conversation. Look at that in Google. There it is. Type, boom, there it is. And actually, it's also the story of the two women that I coached that lost, the daughter's 57, lost 50 pounds in 3 months. How many of you ladies, would you like to lose 50 pounds in 3 months, any of you, or not? Or not? How about the mom? 80, 90 pounds in 9 months, and they've kept it off for 3 years. I know it's hard to believe. See, here's what you're dealing with. Just because it wasn't invented doesn't mean it wasn't possible. Right? I mean, think of the things we have in our lives now. 30 years ago, an iPhone? What are you kidding me? Well, GPS? How does that work? I don't know, but I sure like it. I used to use Rand McNally maps. Now I use GPS. How are we even on this broadcast right now, going all over the world? Well, there's no wires. What's going on? My computer's plugged into the wall, but nothing else is plugged in. So why wouldn't this be possible? My God, we have 1 billion people worldwide clinically obese. Did you hear what I just said? 1 billion out of 8 billion clinically obese. And this was a study done in The Lancet. You can look it up. It's the biggest medical journal in the world. And they said that obesity now is the leading form of malnutrition in the world. What? They did a study on obese children about 7 or 8 years ago, and they found that 25 to 30% of the kids that were obese were suffering from rickets and scurvy, which are diseases of malnutrition. What the heck are all of you doing counting calories? We've lost our way because our food in this country is becoming more and more nutritionally bankrupt, so now we need more and more what? They put sugar in there instead of nutrition. So temporarily you have energy, and then you crash, and what do you want? Then you crave more sugar. I mean, we have it's estimated now, over 2 million people in this country weigh over 500 pounds. I was watching that show, My 600-Pound Life, last night, a young guy, 863 pounds. Really? And they're going to put him on a diet. And they're going to say, well, we want you to lose 30 pounds in a month. I mean, this is just, it's just sad. I've reached out to them. They won't get back to me because again, that's their deal. But Curtis, he didn't weigh 600 pounds and he lost 40 pounds in a month with no exercise. Nobody was allowed to exercise because they didn't want exercise to be an outlier. Otherwise, they made them wear Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising. And not that they're against exercise. Don't hear me say that. Some people, and maybe it's my fault, they didn't quite understand the point I was making. The reason they didn't want them to exercise, they didn't want exercise to be, okay, so also I'm not intending to give off, thanks, yes. Tap, everyone. Yeah, fire. Come on, let's really tap. We're at 13,000. Firecracker, are you enjoying this? Are you learning something? Are you hopeful that this could really change the trajectory of the rest of your life? Please let me know. I love people's input because this is my life's work. I wrote, like I said, I'm not bragging. Maybe somebody think I am. Well, that's tough. But I'll tell you this. Here's one of my biggest things. This is a brand new book that came out about 3 months ago. Maybe you can read the title. Current Trends in Community Health Models. This is pretty much going to every physician. It's a hardcover book to the physicians in the world. They chose me to write the chapter on weight loss and health. What a huge honor for me. So somebody thinks that I'm valuable. But I've been a maverick. I've been the canary in the coal mine. You understand, when I was doing this, people thought I was crazy. What do you mean? What do you mean there's toxins inside our body? Well, look at what they're saying now. Did you all see that about 5 weeks ago when they came out and said they're finding microplastics in our brains and in our coronary arteries? Did you all see that? We're storing herbicides and pesticides in our bodies. That's why people have so much fat on their bodies. People tell us that all the time. It's not how much weight they lose, it's how much fat they have, especially around their stomach, diaphragm, whatever areas. How is what happening? Do you think this program would help? Oh my God, I know it helps with lipidemia. Oh, absolutely. Honest to God. Great, Callista. How is that happening? I'm not, Callista, please clarify for me. I want to answer your question, but I'm confused because I say a lot of things, so I'm not sure what part, and there may be a delay in terms of you responding to what I said versus not. Scent go popular. Look, okay. So how is a Callisto? Again, explain to me what you're talking about. Are you talking about the fact we're storing chemicals in our fat cells? Is that what you're talking about? Please be more specific so I can give you a legitimate answer. But look at his stomach, everybody. That's with no exercise. Look at day 1, look at day 30. I mean, is that just unbelievable, Callisto, with no exercise at his age? But his medical work is the only thing that counts. Look at his A1C, 8.4 to 6.4, but triglycerides, cut them nearly in half from 242 to 124 in 30 days with no exercise. I know, for example, that he's a diabetic, and his doctor at the end of 30 days cut his meds by 50%. His doctor did it, not the researchers. We would never do that. We're in conjunction with, we're not in competition with medical doctors or with allopathic physicians at all. So again, Callisto, you said, how is that happening? I'm not quite sure what you're referring to, but if you could put it in the chat, it would be great. So just cleaned, are you becoming more comfortable? Do you understand more about what I'm explaining and talking to people about? Because the other thing is that I'm more than prepared to do is to repeat again, what they did, how they did it. Oh, how is that happening? Well, I'll tell you how it's happening, because we eat whatever they eat. Let me give you an example. So let's say you are eating vegetables or plants. Let's say plants, right? Well, you have to understand when whatever the plant is exposed to, they call it whatever they eat, meaning the plants or animals. For example, antibiotics. Let's talk about that. 80% of all the antibiotics in this country are given to animals. So when you eat, let's say, chicken that's been exposed to antibiotics, you're getting antibiotics in your body. Now, the thing that's so shocking, if you do non-organic food, the reason that I eat organic is not because it's that much better nutritionally. I do it because it's less polluted. But also 25 to 30% of the herbicides and pesticides that are in regular plants are also inorganic. Why? Well, let's say my right hand is an organic field and my left hand is a regular field. The regular field, the crop duster comes over and sprays the chemicals, and the wind blows it over into the crops on the organic field. That's one of the ways that it happens. But for example, we now know that we're finding microplastics in our brain and in our coronary arteries. Now, how do they get in there? From bottled water. Every canned good is lined with plastic. And when the things are shipped, well, especially with, say, water bottles, okay? And number one, if you have a water bottle and you squeeze it and it cracks, woo, not good. Because what happens in these big flat things you're buying from some of these big wholesalers, they've been shipped in trucks, and the truck, the natural motion up and down, the water. See, water's a solvent. Well, go look at the Grand Canyon. That's all you need to see, right? So what's happening as the water is moving up and down inside the truck, inside the bottle, it's scraping off tiny little amounts of microplastics. Well, maybe one bottled water wouldn't hurt you, but you're drinking more and more and more bottled water, and that's how you're getting these plastics in your body. It's not up for debate. I mean, you can Google it, do microplastics in your brain, and you'll see the studies come up. So, but again, we're getting the herbicides and the pesticides because of, now the other thing that happens, even if the wind wasn't blowing the chemical over, as you spray these herbicides and pesticides on crops, they go down into the ground, into the water table, and the same water table the organic field is sharing with the regular fields. Those plants, what's called they call it, it's uptaking, it's sucking up the water with these chemicals inside of it. So even now organic, 25 to 30% is herbicides and pesticides. But listen to this. Let's say you do no organic food at all. In a year's time, they estimate you drink the approximate amount, 1 gallon of herbicides and pesticides. So do you think we need a detox or not? And none of these other diets, see, that's the thing. There's no other diet out there that's allowing your body to remove the herbicides and the pesticides and the Scotch Guard and the Teflons. Yeah, we're every this is, I don't mean to shock all of you women, but understand. They estimate that every single woman in North America has detectable levels of flame retardant in her breast milk. That's all I can tell you. Because that's the science. You can look it up. I don't make up things. I mean, people get so mad at me when I just tell them the truth. Oh, that's not possible. Really? Well, go look it up. I've been doing this 23 years. I was the canary in the coal mine. I was one of the very first people in the whole world talking about toxic chemicals. The problem was when I started in 2003, there'd never been a study done on a human being. That didn't even occur until 2005, Mount Sinai Medical School. So let me share with all of you. So asking for the final time, does intermittent fasting work? No, Watchman, it doesn't work. Let me give you the medical proof. Okay, right here is one of two big studies. This one done in the Journal of the American Medical Association. Okay, Watchman, I'm sorry, I didn't see your question until just now. So let me read from the study. This is the Journal of the American Medical Association, Watchman. It's a 3-month study. Listen to this. The Journal of the American Medical Association, new research found that overweight adults who do time-restricted eating, they fast 16, eat for 8, over the course of 3 months, this is their wording, not mine, Watchman, gained almost no benefit from it. And over the course of that 3 months, they lost 2 to 3.5 pounds. And most of the weight they shed, Watchman, was not body fat, but lean muscle mass. The other lie about this time-restricted eating is nothing more than a calorie-restricted diet. Let me show you the proof on that. This is in the Annals of Internal Medicine. Again, it was a 3-month study. This time they took a group of people that did this intermittent fasting, time-restricted eating, and just compared it to lowering calories. Okay, at the end of 3 months in the study, at 12 weeks, those doing time-restricted eating lost 4.6 pounds in 3 months, and those people doing just calorie reduction lost 5.2 pounds. They went on to say, any suggestion that time-restricted eating weight loss was due to anything other than calorie reduction is totally false. Well, unless you're excited about losing 4 pounds in 3 months, it's a complete joke. It doesn't work. Compared to him, he lost 40 pounds in a month. Do you see now, Watchman? And I apologize. I wasn't ignoring you. For whatever reason, it didn't show up on my screen until just now because there's so many people that have been coming in there. So, okay, Watchman, does that make sense? Can you eat bread while doing this? No, Royal, no. I take that back. You talk to your coaches, you could have Ezekiel bread, but again, it's the amounts, it's the timing, it's when you're doing it. That's one of the reasons you get a coach. So let me clarify. You wouldn't be eating white bread or whole wheat or anything. You can do Ezekiel bread. But again, the amounts matter. Does that make sense? But you all get the opportunity, look, go to the website, see the medical proof, and get a free coach. The coaching's 100% free. 100% free. So Watchman, again, I want to make sure, don't get mad at me, my friend. I'm doing the best I can. There's so many questions coming, it's crazy, but I apologize. So did I answer it now for you? Do you understand? Intermittent fasting, time-restricted eating is nothing more than a low-calorie diet with really mediocre results long-term, along with all these other diets that, and Watchman, I don't know if you heard me read from the big Medicare study. Oh, here it is. Medicare's research for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. They're saying all diets. This is not a diet, what we're talking about here. They said the researchers reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether calorie-restricted diets or any diet is an effective treatment for obesity. Our researchers found that 2/3 of dieters regained more weight than they lost on any diet. In summary, this is Medicare saying, in summary, there's little support for the notion that diets of any kind lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. 2/3 of people, Watchmen, are gaining more weight than they lost, including on this time-restricted eating. It's just another diet. It's just a gimmick to limit the amount of food that you're consuming, which means you're limiting the amount of nutrition, which triggers the starvation mode in the body. And that's why they said the majority of what people are losing in intermittent fasting is your lean muscle mass. It's not me. That's not my opinion. These are some of the biggest medical journals in the world. So who are you going to believe? The influencers that are telling you to do intermittent fasting? Or remember, no, be clear, it's time-restricted eating. That's what they're talking about. They call it intermittent fasting. But in this case, this was intermittent nutritional fasting, where she was fasting with nutrition, not what you normally hear about. But again, look at, where is he? Oh, but look at this older gentleman, 40 pounds and 52 inches in a month. You think that would happen on time-restricted eating? And look at his blood work. Look at the change. Okay, Watchman, are you cool now? Did you get your answer? He says, sure, but does it help my diabetes? Watchman, look at his, wait a minute, does it help his diabetes? Look at Watchman. His A1C went from 8.4 to 6.4 in 30 days. Look at his triglycerides, 242 to 124. This was invented by a diabetic chemist more than 25 years ago. It was invented by a diabetic. So Watchman, oh my gosh, it would help you. Well, you tell me, dropping your A1C from 8.4 to 6.4 in 30 days and triglycerides 242 to 124. But there was another part. These diabetics were monitored by their doctors. At the end of 30 days, Watchman, they had to cut his meds by 50%. 50%. Do you think it would help you, Watchman? Wow. Now, the other thing you can do if you request a coach, no, God, no, it won't help you. Intermittent fast, no, absolutely not. There's not one shred of evidence that it'll help you. No, absolutely, it's nonsense. It's just a bunch of, because again, the peer-reviewed human trial studies that say they gained almost no benefit from it in 3 months. That was Journal of American Medical Association. This, Watchman, how much would that excite you? I'm not sure what your A1C is, but from 8.4 to, but triglycerides, 242 to 124, and he loses 40 pounds in a month, in 30 days. You tell me, Watchman, is that of interest to you? Would you want to find out more? If you request a coach, that's the other thing I want to tell you, Watchman. If you go there and you request a coach, make sure you put, I'm a diabetic, because we have people that are experts working with diabetics. That's really important that we line you up with a coach who's familiar. The coaching's free, Watchman. We don't charge. You're not buying anything from the coaches. You're buying from the grocery store and from these exotic foods from around the world. The coaching's free. It's not a gimmick. The coaching's free. Because we got coached. We got medical doctors and nurses and, people that are doing this to help people like you, like me. I got coached years ago, 23 years. Watchman, I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. Watchman, we'd love to help you. And again, let me apologize for the third time. I'm really sorry. I promise. I kept asking, Watchman, what do you want? What do you want? So again, please take my apology. It's sincere. We don't jack people around. That's not what we're doing. We're researchers. But we think we're providing such a service to the world. For a second, I thought I saw Warren Buffett. Oh, you mean, you're talking about right there? No, that's not Warren Buffett. But he did lose 40 pounds and 52 inches in a month. So again, you're devastated, you mean because of intermittent fasting? Is that what you're telling me? Watchman, we want to help you. I'm serious. Now, Watchman, now I'm really curious. Are you saying because you've been doing intermittent fasting and you thought somehow that was going to help you long term? No evidence of it. None. Zero evidence. If anything, look, here's the problem, Watchman. When you're on these diets, whether it's intermittent fast, I don't care what it is, and you're losing lean muscle, do you realize that what you're doing about how unhealthy you're making yourself? Because by losing the lean muscle, which you do on that or any diet, you're slowing down your own immune system. So you're making yourself more vulnerable. That's crazy, isn't it, Watchman? Isn't that just crazy? Or the rest of you? I'm 21, age, weight, 85. Okay, so why are you making that so web mention? For a second, I thought I saw Warren Buffett. Web mention, I'm 29 and weight 85 pounds. I would say you probably want to gain weight. That's not That's not typical for a 29-year-old. Height 5'1". Yeah, no, you should probably weigh like 110 probably, just to give you an idea. 105 to 110. But again, do whatever you want to do. So, Watchman, yes, you're making so much sense. Wow. Well, that's a wonderful compliment. Watchman, is it okay if I share with you and everybody else in the audience, why am I so damn passionate about this? Despite the slings and arrows and the people wanting to take me on. I'll tell you why. First reason, my mother, Watchman, was morbidly obese my whole life. I never knew her thin. I never knew her healthy, and I loved her. I want all of you to understand what I'm going to share with you is really personal. My mom called me up like 24 years ago, almost 25 years ago, before I was ever a researcher. And she said, Peter, I have one really big wish in my life. And I said, Mom, what's that? She said, I would give anything if I could spend 24 hours thin. Watchman, 24 hours. I said, wow, Mom, that's cool. Well, 6 months later, massive heart attack and stroke. I loved my mom. She was awesome. It didn't matter how big she was. I went through fat shaming, Watchman. We'd go to the grocery store and the kids whispering and pointing, and it broke her heart. And my God, she did about every diet there was. I'm not kidding. She went to Weight Watchers for 30 some years. She'd lose 4 ounces and they'd give her a gold star and she'd come home and think she was doing something. But she did the cabbage soup diet. She did the grapefruit diet. She did, you name it. She was cutting diets out of the National Enquirer. I hate diets. I believe my mother dieted herself to death. I really believe that. At the end, she was on water pills, she was on beta blockers, she was on high blood pressure medication. Yeah, she'd lose 20, 25 pounds and gain 30 pounds back. And because one of the things that you lose when you go on these diets is lean muscle. Does anybody familiar with your heart? Is your heart a muscle? I really believe she died of a massive heart attack and reduced. She died of a massive heart attack and stroke. So a big part of my motivation is to help as many people as I can. What's a photo hack here? Michelle, what are you talking about? Do you gain the weight back if you go back to conventional foods? Royal, the program's called R2M, Race to Maintenance. Yes, if you went back to regular foods, but you still eat I eat pizza, I have ribs, I have adult beverages. No, you need to really, you don't quite understand because this is not like a conventional diet where you come off the diet and then you gain everything back. I love Haagen-Dazs ice cream. I have, popcorn. I have even, Lay's potato, just not all the time. And my cravings have really changed and gone down. No, it's not that you would, but why would you want to go back to regular food when you can have the most nutrient dense food on the planet? I mean, that to me doesn't make any sense. And maintenance is simple. You have these exotic foods for breakfast, 2 normal meals, and then once every couple months do another 48-hour intermittent nutritional fast because it's about detoxification. That's the main reason to do this, that and being able to maintain whatever you lost. So maybe that's not a totally accurate answer, but also it's why you can get a free consultation with one of our coaches. Free, everybody, free. Why wouldn't you do it? I don't know, because you don't do it. What are you talking about? Are you some weirdo web motion? Should I reduce? If you're 29 years old and you're 5'1" and you weigh 85 pounds, what are you kidding me? I mean, tell me that you're real and you're not a bot. You might be. I don't care. I'm going to help other people. So I sign up. Oh, wonderful, Royal. Terrific. So you'll probably, I can't promise you we'll get back to you today because we got so many people that want to do this. And one of the things that we're the shortest of are coaches, because a lot of people want to do this and we only have so many coaches. Okay. As a matter of fact, a lot of people want to become coaches. I had someone this morning that said, "Oh my gosh, I want to go on this. Can I help? Can I be a coach?" Well, I don't know. First, you need to do it and see if it works. What if it doesn't? Oh, I didn't even tell all of you the best part. So 30% you're going to buy from the grocery store, right? I told you that. But the other 70% of what you're buying, those people give you 100% money back guarantee in the first 30 days. It says it right on the website. It says 100% money back guarantee. Now, obviously, the food you're buying from the grocery store, they're not going to give you money. Do you understand how amazing this is? You have 70% of what you're going to spend your money on, they give you all your money back if it doesn't work and you get a free coach? Because nothing's 100%. I wouldn't be that dumb to tell you that. I know it sounds good to be true. Listen, I do this. I'm doing anywhere from 3 to 4 of these every single day. I start at, Denver around 5:30 a.m. in the morning. And right now, let's see, what time is it? Yeah, with the people in Australia and New Zealand, they're about ready to get up. But we got people all over where it's available. I don't have anything to do with that because I don't sell you anything. We don't sell you anything. You buy directly from those suppliers. I know they're in the EU, all over England, Germany, France, etc. And I know they're in New Zealand and Australia and the United States and Canada and Mexico. I think they're in Puerto Rico maybe too. I don't know because that's nothing I have anything to do with. But the coaches would tell you. But I would ask all of you this: why I've lost 40 pounds, macronutrient exercise, but again, yes, because that doesn't work, Royal. You wait till you talk to the coaches. You're going to be very excited. Now, Michelle Krebs, what's a photo hack here? I don't understand what a photo hack is. Can you explain to me what a photo hack is? Because I don't know. How much does it cost? Oh, how much does it cost, Shar? Again, you're probably going to spend about what you spent total last month on total food, 30% from the grocery store, 70% from the store. So again, Michelle Krebs, tell me what a photo hack is. Oh, you think that we Photoshop this? That's the daughter of my good friend. That's his daughter. She lost 60 pounds in 3 months. Is that what you're implying? Because you got to understand what makes us different. We have 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. We're on this protocol was just on the cover of Women's World magazine, the #1 women's magazine in the world. I coached these 2 women. The daughter lost 50 pounds in 3 months, and the mom has lost, in 9 months, she lost 90 pounds. She's 80 years old. We don't have to trick people. We're the only people on all of social media with peer-reviewed human trial studies. We have 10 of them. As a matter of fact, that's why the magazine picked this. And they're saying over 50 protein miracle. And they wrote a big news story about it inside. Let me see if I can find it. I mean, I would support you in saying, well, maybe you think it is Photoshop. I ask people that all the time. Is it the same woman? And it is the same woman. But yeah, here's the big article, 2-page article inside. New protein miracle diet. And it's not really even a diet. So again, can you clarify for me, Michelle, because I'm just not sure what you're talking about. Oh, you think so? Well, that's really unfortunate for you, Michelle, because this is real. And again, here's an older gentleman. What do you think we photoshopped that, his stomach? See, listen, I'm actually supporting you in your skepticism. But what blows away your argument, if you're trying to make one, is we're the only people on all of social media with 10 peer-reviewed human trial medical studies in the biggest medical journals in the world. You don't get in those if you're photoshopping stuff. Okay? I'm supporting you in one sense and saying, okay, be skeptical. But again, show me any diet you're familiar with that have peer-reviewed human trial studies. It doesn't exist. I mean, and these are not, by the way, this is not products. There's no product. This is food. I mean, here's PubMed, the #1 library for medical studies in the world, talking about all the scams out there about these products. Here's right as of June 15th. So what is that? 7 days ago. Hold on just a second. There are no irrefutable peer-reviewed human trials on PubMed or elsewhere that broadly substantiate the claims of commercial detox products for toxin removal, weight loss, or health. None. Zero. We have 10 because it's not a product. It's food and a new way of, I mean, you can't go higher than peer-reviewed human trial studies. So before you start making accusations about photo hacking, you might want to rethink that. But that's up to you. Do whatever you want to do. Go on a diet. 2/3 of people going on diets are gaining back more weight than they lost. My God, I got people like Harvard Medical School backing up what I'm saying. Stop counting calories. The idea of a calorie in, calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford, obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion, Stanford said it's time to take a different approach by concentrating on what's in our food, not how much food we're consuming. So with all due respect, good for your opinion, but it doesn't mean anything because this is the only medical proof in the world that we've ever had in 100 years that they finally found something that is about losing weight. Kevin James, researcher. Yeah, okay. Now what are you saying, Kevin James, 1900? Yeah, I'm a nutrition. Oh, yeah, Kevin. Let me explain to you. Are you saying you're questioning me? I've appeared 20 times on PBS. I was interviewed on the 4 biggest daytime shows in America. I've done over 1,500 lectures around the world in universities and hospitals and towns. They even flew me to China. I've written 4 best-selling books with some of the top medical doctors in the world. One of my colleagues is the top oncologist in the world and a molecular biologist, and he's worked with 2 men and won the Nobel Prize in Medicine. I'm credited, U.S. Patent Office, with discovering a medical syndrome called TDOS, which you have and everybody has. T for toxicity, D for nutritional deficiency, O for being overweight, S is for stress. It's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office. Notice the name, Peter Greenlaw. That's me. So I'm not a researcher? Really? Really? Well, apparently, I spoke 2 years in a row at Autism One in Chicago, the largest autism conference in the world, 2 years in a row. They have me speak at the Harvard Club in New York. I've spoken all over the world. They even flew me to China for 16 days to lecture. So somebody thought what I was doing was pretty valuable. I've written 4 best-selling books. I mean, I'm the canary in the coal mine screaming about the fact that we're storing these chemicals inside of our bodies. So I've lost 40 pounds. Okay, wait a second. I think she's, okay, wait a second. I'm an example. I have been on the program 9 days. And look at this, Caden Murphy. Look at this. She said, let's read it, everybody. I'm on example. I've been on the program for 9 days. I lost 12 pounds and 41 waist to 40 in 9 days. Honestly, PPL on TikTok just want to argue for no reason. They're just doing it to annoy you. They're not even annoying me. Their opinion of me is none of my business. I know what I have. Do any of you feel like, well, let me ask any of you. You can be critical of me. Am I providing real proof? Medical proof? Can anybody tell me another influencer on all of social media, I don't care what platform, that have 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies? They're not my studies, but we're bringing them to you. We're providing, my God, wait a minute, we're providing you with a free medical website. I'll show it to you all. You go to Google, type in the New Health Conversation, watch, comes up, click on it, boom, there's nothing on that website to buy. It's just the medical proof. But if you like what you see, then you get a free coach. What the hell? We would be stupid as hell if we were scamming people. I've got a worldwide audience now. People all over the world are coming on and appreciating this research. Yeah, it took me a long time. And I'll be honest with any of my critics, at 22 years, 4 best-selling books. Well, okay, I'm not a researcher, right? Okay, well, look, this is a new book going to every medical doctor in the world. You can read the title, Current Trends and Community Health Models. I guess I'm not a researcher because they picked me out of the whole world to write the chapter on weight loss and health. This is going to every physician basically in the world. I think maybe I'm a researcher. I don't know. What do you all think? I'd love for you to put it in the comment. Do you all feel like I've provided you with real, tangible proof, medical evidence, value? Am I providing value to all of you? Yes or no? I'd love to know. I want your opinions. So, honestly, yeah, I know, Royal, but it's okay. I mean, people, they're so, here's the thing. They're so involved or engaged in things that have no medical background, no medical proof. Because they're going to keep telling me the only way to lose weight is calories in, calories out. When Harvard Medical School is even saying stop counting calories. They're saying it's antiquated, it's wrong. They're saying it's wrong to count calories. But they're gonna try to argue that, but they don't have any proof. As long as they don't call me names, I'm good. They can have whatever opinion they want. I think that's what we need. I think in the world right now, we could use a little bit more civility where people can disagree, but do they really have to call each other names? Let me ask you something. If they call me a name, does that change the 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies published in the biggest medical journals in the world? Royal, I'm happy you're supporting me or defending me, I would say, but it's just ridiculous. like I've got people over here, on another platform. I'm 5'1", I weigh 85 pounds. Should I reduce? I mean, we know that's just scam. It's just I'm getting rid of it right now. It just irritates me. But I try to be calm. My son tells me all the time, Dad, don't pay attention to him. The reason that I get me upset is it takes away from all of you. But I'm getting better. I try and ignore the distractions. It'd be different if they could come on and show me medical proof, then okay, then we could have a really viable discussion, but they don't have any medical proof. I know because there's no one else on social media. Oh, I'm still showing you the website, sorry. There's no one else on social media with, I mean, there's really nice people, smart people, PhDs, medical doctors, chiropractors, dietitians, nutritionists, weight loss. Okay, here's how they're doing with all their strategies and all their opinions. Here's all you need to know about it. Here's John Hopkins Medical School, not Peter Greenlaw School, John Hopkins. Study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. 86% of Americans will be overweight or obese by 2030. They went on to say, I didn't even read this part. By 2048, we project all adults will be overweight or obese in, 19 years. Did I do the math right? No, 2048, so it's 2025, 23 years. They're saying 100% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese. Does that sound to you like diets are working? Do you see the idiocy of this? Or is it just me? Just because I'm a researcher and it's black and white. You either have peer-reviewed human trial studies or you don't. And if you don't, then you're yakking. You're creating, air's coming out of your mouth, but there's no facts. We rely on facts. That's all we do. Can we get some more likes? Wow, we're at 13,000. Come on, everybody, let's get some more taps. Who else wants to ask me a question? Aren't you curious? Some of the new people coming on, how did she lose 21 pounds and 38 inches in a month? Oh, it's photoshopping. No, it's not. That's just silly. Just silly. A photo hack. What a bunch of nonsense. Why would we do it when we got the medical proof to back it up? It makes no sense. And we don't have it. We don't sell anything. We don't have any products. So what would be the benefit? What would be the benefit? Right? So, anyhow, who else would like to ask me a question? Anybody? Well, we've been on for 2 hours and 11 minutes, so I'm going to, wait a minute, something binge eating. Let me see if I can see that question. I'm an example. I've been on okay, 9 days. Okay, hold on just a second. No, I don't like to miss people's comments because then they think I'm blowing them off or I'm not paying attention. So let me see if I can scroll up here. What's going on here, folks? Hold on. I'm just trying to scroll up in the comments. Sometimes, okay, so let me see what it says. Thank you for the information. Okay, that's good. Nose. All right, I'm just trying to see if I didn't miss it. Firecracker, I saw you. Can we ask questions? We did. GOP1s. Okay, consultations, how learn. Okay, but there's, okay, 10 pounds in a month. Hello, my best friend. Because you're in the regimen. I've been in the calorie deficit for months to lose weight and went on vacation for 3 days. Okay. Okay, but the consultation. I'm just trying to find out. Let's see. I was contacted by a lady who had told me about milkshakes, drinks plus pills. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Sherelle. I can't answer that. So there's no pills on this protocol. So that's number one. And there were no milkshakes. I don't know where that would come from. So the body instance proteins, how expensive, God's hands. What's the website? I told you all that. A calories unit of energy. No, it's not. Am I not intending to give off the wrong? Oh, no, that's good. Do you think this program would help lipidemia? Yes. Asking for the final time. Okay, I did that. Appreciate. I thought I missed somebody's comment. Okay, hold with me, everybody. Do you gain the weight back if you go on conventional foods? Yes. I lost 40 pounds macronutrient, gained 20 back. Of course you did. Thanks. Okay. I'm example. I've been on the program. Honestly, I need help losing weight. I'm a severe. Okay, somebody got cut off there by mistake. So, okay, I need help losing weight. I'm a severe asthmatic. Okay, great. Not great that you're an asthmatic. Don't hear me say that. But for some reason, it's cutting limited lung function. Okay. So again, what I would suggest that you do, Penelope, go to the website, the New Health Conversation, look at the medical proof, get a coach, and because we need to know more information. Like, are you on any drugs? Are you on a ventilator? Are you on oxygen? I mean, this is the point. That's why we're not going to like make, we're not shooting from the hip here and giving you an opinion because we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, preventing any diseases. But could that help you? What's your weight situation, Penelope? I need to know what your weight, how much do you weigh? How tall are you? How much do you weigh? I need help losing weight. Yeah, okay, but I want to know how much, Penelope, because obviously, depending on how much weight you need to lose, it could greatly help because it would put less strain on your body. And I'm a severe asthmatic. Yeah, I get the picture. So, Penelope, how much do you need to lose? Yeah, keep tapping, everybody. We're at 13,000 likes. Let's get to at least 15,000 or 16,000 because I'm going to stay on longer as long as people are still engaged and they want to do this. So again, Penelope, please let me know how much you need to lose. So I need help losing weight. I'm a severe asthmatic with limited lung function. I see that. And now we're still stuck at 13,000. Come on, everybody. Let's get some taps on that screen. Yeah, that's really weird. The Penelope, if you're making a comment, I can't see it. That is strange. Oh, here's one new message. See if that's Penelope. Oh, yes, Penelope. Oh my goodness. You definitely need help. Look at my friend's daughter. Look at this, Penelope. 60 pounds in 3 months. How much would that get you excited if you could do that to start out? That's 20 pounds a month. That's 5 pounds a week. How much would that 5 pounds a week, Penelope? How much would that motivate you? You're saying yes, it would motivate you? And Penelope, it's the same. This is the daughter of a friend of mine. So I'm not, I'm not making things up. Does that make sense? Yeah, I would love that. So Penelope, what you can do if you want, go to, see it there, the New Health Conversation. See it up there right above her head. Do you see that, Penelope? Penelope, do you see that, the New Health Conversation? Yes or no? Because some people have trouble reading it. I just want to make sure. Yes. So you go there, look at the medical proof, free. We won't contact you. If you like what you see, which I think you will, then scroll down and get a free coach and they'll go over everything with you. How's that sound? And the coaching is 100% free, Penelope. You're basically buying food. 30% of the food you're going to buy is from the grocery store, and the other 70% are from these exotic foods from around the world that they use to create this. And so, cost-wise, you're probably going to spend about what you spent last month on your total food bill. But it sounds to me like you really, really need help. And, we would never make you a promise because we don't know for sure, but it sure sounds like we could help you. So you got it? And you're clear, Penelope. You're going to go, I do need help. Yeah, I can see that. Now, look, you do see the website, though, Penelope. Before I sign off, I want to make sure the New Health Conversation, sign off with you. I'm not signing off with everybody else. But I want to make sure you're clear. You go to that website, sign up for a free consultation, and then you get to talk to a coach, and they'll see how we can help you. Okay? There's no doubt we can get the weight off you. That's not, and by the way, that's with no exercise, Penelope, just to let you know. That weight loss you're looking at there, that's with no exercise, and she's kept it off now for 8 years. But yeah, you've got a real struggle with that much weight at 5'1". So let's see how we can help you. It sounds like you're really motivated and you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, like so many people are. You, Penelope, the pleasure's all mine. If we can help you, great. Let's just see. So who else would like to ask me a question? I still think this picture of Julie here, 35 pounds in 37 days is pretty incredible. Now I know someone's going to say no, listen, let me stop. We didn't Photoshop anything. It's not AI. We don't have to do that because we have the medical proof to back up everything you're seeing there is legitimate. It's real. We'll lose even more on this. Royal, oh gosh, yes, absolutely. And again, Royal, that's what you'd go over with your coaches. Royal, I'm so impressed. You've been on a long time. I didn't scare you off yet, Royal? And you were defending me? Oh, man. But again, Royal, the exercise, for example, on the 48-hour intermittent nutritional fasting day, I can sort of tell you in advance, on those days, we'd probably want you to do about half the intensity and half the time. But again, that's why you have a coach. They'll advise you about all that. Does that make sense? Good, good. No, Royal, I really appreciate you defending me. And it's just sad that we have to see. The problem is that when people do that, they're depriving themselves because there is no other protocol. I hope you can see that already, Royal, that we're the only ones with real medical proof, that not hype. That's why I think this podcast is going to get so big. I hope it does to go all over the world and help as many people as we can. And Royal, I think I told you before that one of our biggest challenges is we only have so many coaches. We just do. And right now we're still okay, but I'm kind of creating my own monster here because now more and more and more people are coming on and they're sharing it with their friends. They want to share it with their friends. So we're doing the best we can. But I would say if you don't get contacted today, it'd certainly be no later than tomorrow, just to let you know, Royal. The same thing with you, Penelope. If you go on and sign and get a request for a coach, we'll try and get back to you today, but probably no later than tomorrow. Okay? So would anybody else like to ask me a question? No? No other questions? I'm happy to answer them. All right. Well, listen, I'm going to end this. My voice, I just need to get a drink or something. So it's now 5:15, 5:13 on the East Coast to be specific. Um, I'll try and do another one in about, let's see. So it's now, what time is it? It's 5:13. So I'll probably be doing another one, let's say by no later than 5:45. Oh, user 912. Okay. I'm going to stay user just for you. So let me show you a more, okay, this one is exactly a month, 21 pounds, 38 inches in 30 days. So let me explain to you, user 912, what she did. This was invented, by the way, by the #1 uh, nutrition, weight loss, and physiologists in the world. They'd done 100 studies over 40 years, thousands of people, and really determined that our whole approach on dieting was 100% wrong. Because in all that time and all those people, 2/3 of them ended up gaining more weight than they lost because it was based on a flawed premise, which you probably would be familiar with, and that's counting calories. It's the dumbest thing we ever came up with because the human body has no idea what a calorie is. When you're hungry, you're not hungry for calories. Your body runs on one basic principle from a medical perspective, and that is one thing runs us, and that is a minimum amount, not of calories, but nutrition. When you go on a diet, you lower the amount of food, you're lowering the amount of nutrition. It triggers the starvation mode in your brain, and your body immediately stops using fat for fuel and turns to your muscles, ultimately slowing you down. That's why you plateau on diets, why you yo-yo back, etc. So the researchers said no. The new program would be based on nutrition. And the idea was we're going to identify foods that have higher levels of nutrition and still lower quantities of food. So they put together a grocery list, but only 30% of what she consumed came from the grocery store, from fats, carbs, proteins, vegetables, and fruits. But instead of giving her calorie amounts, they gave her serving sizes. Does that make sense so far? Okay, but only 30% of the food she would consume would come from your grocery store organic. The other 70%, here's what made it different. This is why it worked. They found other researchers who had gone around the world for 20 years in places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, to find foods with huge amounts of nutrients, but smaller quantities of food. And so they had the foods now that they were going to give to her. Then they invented two, let's call it brand new eating patterns. So 5 days a week, she actually was doing 4 meals a day. Started with these exotic foods from around the world. That was breakfast, no foods from the grocery store. Lunch, only foods from the grocery store. Dinner, third meal of the day, only from the grocery store. And a fourth meal after dinner from these exotic foods from around the world. Now the key was something they called it protein pacing. So it wasn't just that she was getting all these nutrients, it was when she was getting it. It was the timing, what they call the eating patterns or the nourishment. So what they were doing, like, okay, so whatever time you have breakfast, okay, then what time do you need to have lunch? Then you have lunch, what time do you need to have dinner? You have dinner, then when do you have your fourth meal? It's all laid out. There's no guesswork because you get free coaching. Free coaching, okay? Now, that's 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. 2 days a week, she did something called intermittent nutritional fasting, but not fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. On those days, no food in the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world. But this time she ate 8 times a day. She was literally eating every hour and a half. I mean, we have people who weigh 500 pounds, they don't get hungry on this. We had diabetics, no insulin spikes. And although she lost 21.2 pounds and 38 inches in a month, she gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass and no exercise allowed. No one was allowed to exercise because the researchers, not that they're against exercise, but they didn't want exercise to be an outlier. They didn't want it to be a factor, right? The key to this is maintenance, believe it or not. The key is not can you lose the weight? That's a given for us. It's teaching you how to keep it off for the rest of your life. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. So the key here, and now the other huge part of this that you wouldn't have known because you haven't been on the podcast that long, is the fact that we're all suffering from this new medical syndrome, including you, including me, called TDOS. What does it mean? It means T is for toxins, D is for nutrition deficiency, O for being overweight, S is for stress. It's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office. Peter Greenlaw, that happens to me. I did discover it. What it means is we're drinking, we're breathing, we're eating chemicals, whether you know it or not. I don't know if you saw the big study from about 5 weeks ago. They're now finding microplastics in our brain and in our coronary arteries. So the researchers, they did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis and proved that this assisted the body in removing the chemicals, because where we're storing the chemicals, just so you know, you're storing them in your visceral fat. The visceral fat is the fat around the organs. If you look at her stomach on day one, you're seeing the evidence of the chemicals inside those fat cells. See, when people tell you burn fat on a diet or exercise, complete lie. You're born with a certain number of fat cells, you die with a certain number of fat cells, and no matter what you do, they are the shrinkers, but you don't lose them unless you do liposuction or surgery. So you can see there, look at day 1 and day 30, look at how much she shrank. And by the way, that was with no exercise at all. Not that the research was against exercise, but in this case, they wanted to say, with this protocol, without any exercise, what would it do? Because otherwise you would have said, well, she lost weight because it was diet and exercise. No, they actually wore Fitbits to prove they didn't exercise. Now, I know it sounds too good to be true. I know it sounds like science fiction. But what the difference with us is, against anybody else, we have 10 peer-reviewed human trials. We didn't invent this. We're making you aware of the research. We're called the researchers of the researchers, okay? But we're the only ones on all social media with 10 peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. And the biggest in the obesity journal, in Frontiers in Physiology, in Nutrients, in the Nutrition Journal, in Frontiers in Nutrition, and this last one, which is very interesting, in Nature Communications, the #1 medical journal in the world, and that study wasn't about the weight loss, it was about gut health, called the microbiome. And basically, I'll summarize, the title said, gut health improved massively with protein pacing and intermittent nutritional fasting. So this is much more than a diet. It really is health. I'll show you one other example. Now look at this gentleman. He lost 40 pounds, 52 inches in a month. That's not the best part of his story. Look at his lab work. His A1C from 8.4 to 6.4. His triglycerides 242 to 124. That's in 30 days. There's nothing like this. This is the solution. This is finally the answer after 100 years of research. They've cracked the code on obesity, weight loss, and health, and everybody is going to this. How easy is it to get these exotic foods you referenced? The researchers, it's all part of what they do with you. So again, you get a grocery list, they'll give you go to the grocery store, proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. Then what they'll do is show you how to order directly from the suppliers and what foods to order from the suppliers. But you buy directly from the suppliers. Our coaches simply show you how to order directly from them, and then they coach you. The key to this is getting coaching, because it's not a diet, it's not an eating, it's totally different. But do you like the results? Look at those results, right? Oh, it's wonderful. Australia, no problem, Michelle. No, we're in New Zealand. I've got all kinds of people in Sydney and in Melbourne. Yeah, because you're at about 7:30 in the morning. All right, am I correct? Tomorrow you're on Monday already. Can you eat steak? Yes. No tortillas, no cheese. Again, not forever, not forever. Oh, Michelle, great. So Michelle, yes, definitely this is available in Australia. And Michelle, if you just came on, this, so Michelle, you asked me what is it? You want me to explain it to you? I'm happy to do it. Just let me know. I just don't want to repeat it if you heard me already tell you once. So please tell me if you're saying, so yes, yes, please. Okay, so, all right, Michelle, the researchers who created this, okay, they're rated the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. They've done 100 studies, 40 years, thousands of people on every diet, and they determine the reason diets don't work is because counting calories is ridiculous. Your body has no idea what a calorie even is. So just to tell you that that's 10 kilos, just to give it to you, so you know in your nomenclature, right? 10 kilos in 30 days. So listen, what the researchers did after all these studies, they realized that every diet they put people on, two-thirds of them end up weighing more than when they started. So they abandoned traditional diets, counting calories, and went off on their own about 13 years ago and started to experiment. And what they proved was, and you would get the same thing, you'd get a grocery list, but only 30% of the food you'd consume on this in a month, you'd go to your local grocery store. Maybe you call them supermarkets down there. I don't know. We've got a lot of Aussies now that are loving this, right? And that's proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But instead of me giving you calorie amounts, they're going to give you serving sizes. So think whatever you spent last month at the grocery store, this month you're only going to spend about 30% of what you spent last month in very specific foods with very specific serving sizes amounts. You got it so far? Then the other 70% of what you're going to consume comes from exotic foods from around the world. You're going to love this. From Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, and New Zealand, your neighbors. Part of it comes from there. So these nutrients have huge amounts of nutrition, but small amounts of food by quantity. So now you've got the, let's call them the ingredients, right? Well, we know if we're going to cook something, what do we need beside the ingredients? We need a recipe. So they created Michelle, two completely different ways of eating. 5 days a week, you would have 4 meals a day. What? Yes, Michelle, 4 meals a day. You'd start with these exotic foods from around the world, lunch from your supermarket or grocery store, dinner with your family, dinner, third meal of the day, and a fourth meal after dinner from these exotic foods from around the world. Now, here's what's key. This is called protein pacing. The pacing was critical. That's what they figured out over all that time. And so they found that when there was a certain amount of time between, like, say, breakfast and lunch and dinner and the fourth meal of the day. That's what protein pacing means. 2 days a week, now this is going to spin you out of control, I know. 2 days a week, you're going to do something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. On those days, no food from your supermarket, only these exotic foods around the world, but this time you're going to eat 8 times a day. Yeah, you're eating about every hour and a half. Look what happened. We got people that weigh in your country be 250 kilos. They're not hungry because it's never been based on calories. It's only been based on nutrition. And look at her stomach. That's 30 days with no. By the way, no one was allowed to exercise, Michelle. They made them wear Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising. Not that the research is against exercise, but they wanted to eliminate exercise as an outlier. Otherwise, you would have said, well, they lost weight because it was diet and exercise. No, it wasn't. No exercise allowed. I mean, Michelle, what do you think about this? Does the company have a Google My Business? I'd like to have reviews, please. Michelle, better than that, go to that website. It's got the medical proof. You don't need reviews. Go look at the medical proof. This isn't a product. There's no products. Okay, so go take a look at the website. It's free to go there. Look at the medical. There's an interview. Listen, Michelle, there's an interview with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. The #1 person who doesn't sell anything because they don't have any products. This is food and a new way of consuming. Does that make sense? So that's all I can tell you. You can see it there in blue, the New Health Conversation. If you like what you see, then you get a free coach. And we use WhatsApp pretty much for New Zealand and Australia to communicate, or Zoom, either one. But again, nothing ventured, nothing gained. If you go to that website, by the way, Michelle, we're not going to contact you. We don't need to do that. That's the only site in the world with real medical proof. Nobody else in the world has peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. Period. End of the story. No more discussion about that with people because it's so important that they understand this is the breakthrough everybody's been looking for weight loss and health for literally like 100 years. Okay? So let's see what else. Violation. Live now. What? Huh? Violation detected. End live now to avoid suspension. Check your notifications. What? I've never seen that before. I don't know why I'd get a notification to end live now to avoid suspension. Huh. I guess I need to end the live. I have no idea why. All right, everybody. We'll talk to you later. I hope you all go to the website.